Listen, don't ever do that again. Here's 20.
My wife had the best line because she goes to a Lutheran school. My wife goes, just say she was being very Christian. She was helping out other students.
Exactly. Like
respond to that one for me, teacher. Good luck.
Remember when my daughter got in trouble for chewing gum?
Mm-hmm.
And the official form that she got had other check chewing gum, and right next to it was murder.
Yes.
Okay. It was on the top line of things, the worst transgressions you could have.
Right. That's right.
So then when I read the form on our show on the air, holy mackerel, I show up a couple days later, parent pickup or dropping her off in the morning. Oh, man, they were waiting for me.
Yeah.
I
have a better form. I don't know what
to I said you treated her, you were like threatening her with a 3-day suspension. She was chewing gum. I said, she's 4th in her class. I go, sorry, I'm calling you out. I go, you do know it's a public school. I go, I pay the taxes. I go, this ain't a private school. You guys don't get to make the rules. We make the rules, you follow them. That's how it works. That's why you're paid badly. Okay.
Best line I heard yesterday, when someone doesn't give you a putt.
Okay.
Right. So, whatever, close putt, one of Buck's buddies looks, he goes, they spend millions of dollars on cancer research. 0 on lockjaw.
That's outstanding.
30 seconds.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Not going to lie, I'm a little bit hungover.
Wow.
You stop at Waffle House?
Starting a little early, Ed.
Don't like to do that on Tuesday, but guest day got a little carried away.
It happens.
It was so good. I watched NBA basketball last night. It was texting with Philly.
All right, here we go.
God.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. It's February 1st. Hope January treated you well. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton here on the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Thanks so much for being with us. Second month of the year, second NIL, NLI day, NIL, NLI, bada bing, bada boom, whatever. 2 days away from the NHL All-Star break, 2 new head coaches in the NFL. Do you sense a theme, Mark?
Twos.
Correct.
Twos is big. We're not shooting any 3-pointers today. We're keeping it. We're going to be a mid-range jump shooter on this show today.
And the date is 2/1/23. I don't know if you do anything lottery-wise because of it or not. But Miller and Moulton on this hump day. Thanks so much for getting over it with us here on the Florida Sports Network. Did I hear something in idle conversation before the show that A, you watched NBA basketball last night, and B, you were tweeting Felipe about it?
I was texting with Felipe.
Sorry.
I was texting with Felipe about it. Yes, I had a little golf event yesterday.
Wow.
May have been overserved after the golf event, and I came home to watch some NBA basketball.
I'm sorry. So you're blaming it on the servers, are we?
Certainly wasn't my fault. They just kept bringing them. What am I supposed to do?
You were overserved. Got it.
Just a little.
Got it. Okay.
For Tuesday, that is. But I started watching the Laker game last night.
Okay. Yeah. LeBron at the Garden.
Right.
So
and it was entertaining.
Yeah. Sure.
It was really entertaining.
And the Knicks are at home, so they're going to lose because they can't win at home. They can only win on the road. So, yeah.
But okay. I had to give it up and text Philly because I think the original text was he is stupid good.
Right. It was on an assist, a bullet pass that he had in
Yeah,
transition.
It was a great pass, just a great play. And at 38, when you watch this guy, and I know he is so polarizing because of things he says off the court, but when you just watch him play at 38, it's pretty damn special.
What, you mean because he's averaging 30 points a game and he's averaging about 7 assists a game
Yeah.
at 38 years of age?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Jordan had already retired twice.
Something like that.
But think about it. He is second, soon to be first on the all-time scoring list. He's less than 100 points away from passing Kareem. He's fourth in assists. How about that combination? I mean, he passed Mark Jackson and Steve Nash last night in assists. True point guards. I mean, that they were not scorers. Nash could score a little bit, but they were true point guards. Their number one thing in life was to pass the ball and set up their teammates. And they both played for a really long time. And he passed Mark Jackson and Steve Nash. He's fourth in assists, second in points, soon to be first in points. LeBron now talking about, he's not going to pull a Brady here. He's not talking about playing to 45, 46. But he is talking about playing into his early 40s, 41 maybe. So it's 3 more years. Mark, he could finish first. He's definitely going to finish first in points. But, he could finish second in assists. First in points, second in assists.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
It truly is. And it's hard because Felipe and I spent this probably the most we've talked before a show was today. Because the game has changed so much. Where now if you don't have a prolific scorer, it seems that you're not even competitive in the league.
Monday night, the losing teams in the league averaged 112 points. The losing teams Monday night averaged 112. There weren't many NBA finals in the glory days of the 80s and the 90s in which 112 wasn't a winning score.
By 10.
Well, and in the 90s by 20, but in the 80s by 10. Right.
So I get people can dismiss the league at times, but last night, like that game, there are times when the game is played that well, and the Knicks were there to play right with the Lakers. That game was competitive. That was up and down. That had good flow to it. That was fun to watch. And when the best player's at his best of that game, it's even better.
That was like the model NBA game to promote. It was perfect. It went to overtime. Hell, there was a buzzer beater to end the first half. It was perfect.
A lot of people in the league, they want nothing to do with the Knicks, but they love playing in the Knicks arena.
Oh, yeah.
And LeBron has called it his favorite arena. He, doesn't even hesitate. He's like, oh, my favorite place to play is MSG. And he hadn't played there in over 3 years. Between the pandemic and injuries, last year he was suspended for the Lakers' one appearance, at the Garden. Year before he was injured. I think year before pandemic. LeBron hadn't played there in over 3 years.
And he responds with his first triple-double of the year last night?
Right.
First year 20 player to have a triple-double in NBA history.
I think third or fourth oldest to ever have one also.
Right. He's the third oldest player in the league, by the way. Currently.
And he's fifth or sixth in scoring. Listen, you can Skip Bayless him all you want. Honestly, you can trash him all you want. The bottom line is, when you're done trashing him, you got to sit back in your chair and turn to your dog or your friend and go, that blankety blank's really good, though.
He can play.
Man, oh, man. So you and I both happen to be LeBron guys, while admitting, goodness knows, his faults.
But on the hardwood, if you can just contain it to there, man, oh man, what he's doing at this age is so impressive.
Well, and quite frankly, And, I didn't know we were going to head down this road to start the show. But quite frankly, another reason why I'm a LeBron guy, his mouth gets him in trouble. Well, like somebody like me should hold that against LeBron. Mark, has our mouth ever gotten us in trouble?
No, never.
No, right. So, yes, his mouth has gotten him in trouble. And there's no doubt that some of his actions have been hypocritical. By the way, no controversy, though, like off the court in his personal life. And think about it. This guy was on the cover of Sports Illustrated 20 years ago. I mean, this guy literally had to grow up, all right, amongst all the attention in the internet TMZ world that he has grown up in.
Right. He finished the magazine world.
Correct.
To your point, he was on SI as a teenager.
And the cover said called him the chosen one, by the way.
And then lived through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the like.
Right. So we'll play the role of Shannon Sharp. Although I will say, I think Felipe has an etiquette violation this morning. Sorry to have to call him out. I just need to paint the picture. Felipe, his tan is probably not as good as it's been, right? It's
not as good as mine.
Well, no, please. We've had people in the Twitch chat room who are like, did you fall asleep outside? Did you, are you sunbathing? Is that makeup you have on?
That's not Mark spends too much time on the course. Okay. Yeah. That's not fair.
So Felipe's tan, particularly, in his arms and what have you, is not what it will be coming up here in a couple months.
Well, and specifically not his shoulders. And you know why I know that? He's wearing his LeBron number 6 jersey today without a t-shirt underneath. He's in full basketball gear.
Exactly. This is where Felipe, we made fun of it in the 80s and 90s that the Georgetown players would always wear the gray t-shirts underneath their Hoyas jerseys. But Felipe, this is where you needed a t-shirt underneath your Lakers 6. Also the white Lakers 6 jersey. So the jersey is matching the skin tones today, and there's lots of skin being shown.
Lots of skin.
Look, do you want me to put my hoodie on?
No.
You just stay on that side of the glass. That's all I ask for the rest of the show. You just stay in your little cage and we'll be good.
Just want you to, just painting a picture. That's all, Felipe. Once again, you said you'd make a good referee. If you can't even take that, okay, from Miller and Moulton, you think you're going to make a good referee? Trust me, the 12-year-old point guard's going to give you more than we just gave you.
I'm just trying to give you something. It's radio,
Uh-huh. We do. And I would say if we were somewhere where people could see, I would definitely bring people into the studio and keep him in his little cage and say, look, there's the Felipe.
KW in our Twitch chat room goes, well, I hope he doesn't show himself during the break. Oh, no, we may let him model during the break on the Miller and Moulton Twitch.tv channel today. We want you all to see.
I want you to see the Patrick Mahomes flex that I've been seeing throughout
right
next to Kelsey when Kelsey was yapping at the mayor of Cincinnati. Felipe has perfected that flex this morning. That's what I've been getting since about 5:45.
So Miller and Moulton on this hump day as we turn the calendar to February, as opposed to what I said at the end of yesterday's show, in which I said, enjoy the last day of July. At which point Mark said to me, well, I'll be sure to check out that San Diego Chargers August 1st preseason game, you idiot. What in the world?
You want to go San Diego? I'll top that with July, damn it.
Yeah. So, yes, it's February 1st. My granddaughter turns 1 today.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah. Why do you think? Oh, everybody's in town. My mom took the train into town 2 days ago. All right. His mother and grandmother are showing up today, going to be in town through the weekend. I mean, this is one of the more comical things in life. Like a 1-year-old, you could give them a dish towel and they'd be fine. Okay. They don't need presents.
David, the first birthday has nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing to do with the child. It is a celebration for the parents to say, We're doing this. That's all it is. This is a celebration of parenting going, oh my goodness, we got to a year and didn't screw it up that badly.
I mean, the party's officially Saturday, but I know something's going to be done today. So, yeah, because, of course, I mean, one, so we need to do it twice. Like you said, Mark, this is just adults taking care of the adults.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Congratulations to mom and dad. The kid, Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa Filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa Filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and Tiki Bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6, and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Miller and Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN Play of the Day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just work with me. Everyone liked the pod, the Play of the Day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Like Clutch Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
That's Clutch with a K. Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
The kind of kids that call guacamole guacamole.
I agree with your comment there, David. Do the coaches here?
Yeah. This is how good LeBron is. To think that in the very next generation after Michael Jordan, that a player could emerge to even be in the conversation with Michael Jordan is remarkable.
Right. And Philly flat out thinks he's better. I'm not doing that and I think that's the point, that his generation may truly believe, and I'm not saying you're wrong or you're right. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, there is no answer because they both played in two different generations.
Right.
And it's stupid to even have that debate. But I think he's a more complete player. I think he does more. I think he guards all 5 positions, plays all 5 positions.
Well, it's funny, Felipe. I would actually argue one of the reasons why you could side with Jordan over LeBron is, Jordan was first team All-NBA defensively. That was the hidden greatness to the Bulls. Between Jordan and Pippen, they had 2 of the 5 best defenders in the league.
Two of the probably the best perimeter defenders ever.
And Jordan was like first team All-NBA defensively like 7 times.
But and I would have, but to his point, he guarded all 5. You can't,
because the game also changed. So yes,
you also can't build 6'9", 6'10", 270.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
Yeah, he's different
physically.
Yeah.
Compared to anybody in the game.
Yeah. 18 years old. He was 6'8", 240.
I mean, he's still a freak physically. Think about it. In his career, he's still physically, maybe more talented than anybody else in the league throughout his whole career.
He spends millions of dollars on his body.
He should.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Butte, and by the way, Jay Gunn, glad we could help you out in traffic there. But Mr. Butte, we had Dr. Jack on, 10 years ago.
At least.
And Dr. Jack said that he thought offensively Kobe, in his words, quote, might be a little better, but that Jordan was the better player because defensively he was far superior. But Dr. Jack said, I never thought I'd see anybody offensively better than Jordan, and I think Kobe is.
I think the one thing that Kobe maybe has over Jordan is his difficult shot-making ability. Like, he would hoist up shots. It's like, no.
Well, you could look at that. And I don't disagree with you, Felipe, but the way a lot of people would say that is they would say, Jordan took better shots.
Yes.
Jordan was able to get open more easily.
He was more efficient. Yeah.
But you're not wrong.
No, Kobe was a little more of a ball hog than Jordan was.
Yeah. And by the way, just because I know it's coming, how many defensive player of the years does LeBron have? Oh, how many does Jordan have? Jordan did win one. 2013, LeBron James finished second in the defensive player of the year votings. Marc Gasol won it. Marc Gasol was second team all NBA. Or second team all defense that year. LeBron was first team all defense. So make sense.
Well, when you add up the number of MVPs that Jordan won and the MVPs LeBron has won, LeBron's won it, what, 3 times?
4 times.
Okay. And Jordan won it
5 times.
Yeah. but like we talked about this, there was the year they gave it to Barkley.
Right.
The year they gave it to Karl Malone. And it was like their way of saying, listen, we all know Michael's the best player, but this guy's having the best year of his Hall of Fame career. Let's give him the MVP.
I think they've done that in LeBron's career.
Yeah, totally.
I think LeBron could have won it 10 times if they wanted to really give it to him.
Yeah.
By the way, Tyler Huntley's a Pro Bowler.
Okay, we got to talk about that. We're coming back.
We
will, but just breathe.
Yes.
Not right now.
As you just told us, we're doing radio.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour, top of the morning to you. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. All right, finally got some movement on these head coaches. People are finally starting to hire some people. All right, good to see. We only had 5 openings. We're used to 6 to 8. All right. And then here we are. Conference championship games come and go. We had only hired 1 guy. It's like, hey, you guys going to get around to hiring people? Come on. Either that or start firing some more. Something. We need some movement. We only got 1 game left, guys. Come on.
And it's a while before free agency starts. So could you wet our whistle just a little bit here?
Yeah. Hire and fire some people, will you? And you know what? Work in a trade in amongst it. So, listen, we both thought Sean Payton would end up in Denver. We just thought that the richest owner in the league would, pony up. And Sean, what do coaches want to do, Mark? Coach. Okay, even when the broadcasting offers pay you $5, $6, $8, $9 million to not do much, what do they want to do? They want to work 80 hours a week. They want to
built
coach
differently than the rest of us. They just
are. Yes, it's why they, anyway, don't have great off the field lives because they're nuts. They're coaches. They're nuts. So, Sean Payton, Denver and New Orleans worked out a trade. Mark, you are not one to give up assets for a coach.
I'm not. You were much more on the Payton to Denver than I was. I thought he may still sit out a year, but it turns out Denver's the job.
Yeah, I thought this from day one.
You were weeks ahead of everyone on this.
I thought it was a perfect marriage. Sean wanted to get paid, and Denver's desperate. And they got a new owner who's trying to do something bold in his first year owning the team. Anyway, there's a lot of things going on in Denver. I thought the owner needed to do this. I didn't think the owner could hire a D'Amico Ryans, although reportedly Denver really wanted him and he chose Houston. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't think they could go that route. First-time head coach. I thought they had to bring in an experienced guy. They've had, 5 straight losing seasons, something like that. They got to turn this sucker around. So here's the deal. Tell me, well, you probably don't like it because you wouldn't make the deal. But so Denver, which ended up getting a first-round pick this year when they made the deal with the Dolphins for Bradley Chubb. And you go, well, wait a minute. Had the Dolphins have a first-round pick? Didn't the league take it away from them? Well, remember, they got multiple first-round picks from San Francisco to do that whole, Trey Lance thing. And one of them was this year. So Miami took San Francisco's first-round pick, which is 29th overall, and they traded it to Denver for Bradley Chubb. So now Denver had a first-round pick to give New Orleans, which is good because New Orleans doesn't have a first-round pick this year because,
they gave it to Philadelphia.
Right, to move up to get Chris Olave, and so the Eagles will be picking 10th. But so the Broncos give up a first-round pick this year, a second-round pick next year, but the Saints will give Denver New Orleans' third-round pick next year. So that's probably, here's how I viewed this. The Saints said to the Broncos, 29th overall, really? That's not that great a pick. I mean, it's damn near a second-round pick. We got to get more than that. And so that's why they did okay, we'll give you a second. You give us your third. That'll be maybe 15, 20 spots differently. Could be 30 spots differently, but you know what I mean. So that kind of moves that first round pick up, if you know what I mean, in value. So there you have it. For the record, Denver and Sean Payton have not officially worked out their contract yet. I'm going to go on the record and say a minimum 5 for 100, maybe 6 for 120. Just throwing that out there. Do you like the deal from Denver's standpoint, Mark?
Look, I wouldn't trade draft capital for coaches. However, in this case, I have no problem with the move they made because your late first-round picks have been proven not to be that valuable. You're getting second-round grades with pick 29. You're not getting first-round grades. By the time you get to pick 20, you've missed out on first-round draft choices. So now you're overpaying a first-round pick late in the first round. That's the first part of it. They did get a little back in the third round. They're losing a couple picks there. So on the whole, it's a move I would never make, David, because I don't believe in this. Right. But the fact of the matter is I think Denver did a good job in getting Sean Payton.
If now from the Saints' point of view, did you get enough for Sean Payton? There's two ways to look at this. Okay. The one way is, they got a first, a second for a guy who didn't want to coach for him anymore. That's pretty good. The other thing is that, hold on a second. I mean, Tampa gave up 2 1s, 2 2s for Gruden 20 years ago. I mean, this is all Denver had to give up with a guy who had 2 years left on his Saints contract. Do you think the Saints got enough?
Yes, I do. Okay. Because if he didn't get the Denver job, I don't think he's taking a job. And then the price goes way down next year. So you are at a point where you have to get the maximum return for what you feel is out there. And at this point, there was no other job Sean Payton was taking.
Correct.
It was Denver or it.
So you're basically lukewarm, but you're giving it a win-win.
I give this a thumbs up on both sides. I think the Saints got the maximum value they could get out of it. I don't think Denver gave up didn't give up the king's ransom to get Sean Payton. And the other side of this, David, that I really believe is that I thought it was a great day for Russell Wilson. Because if Sean Payton didn't take this job, he announced to the whole world that I have no faith in the quarterback.
Right.
So I thought it was a good day for Russ, thought it was a good day for the Denver Broncos, and I think the Saints get something out of it as well.
And Russell Wilson is probably an inch shorter than Drew Brees. And I know Russ is 5'10" and 5'8", but Miller and Moulton, we looked Drew Brees in the eye damn near at a Super Bowl a few years ago. I'm 5'10", Mark's an inch or two shorter. Okay, but I was looking Drew Brees basically in the eye. Okay,
Yeah,
so
there was no doubt. Drew Brees was 5'10".
Well, 5'11" tops. Right. So, and remember, he always played on his toes, and so I think Drew's going, well, I've had a short quarterback before, and we did okay. I can, Russ is accurate. I'll work this out. Okay. DeMeco Ryans chose Houston. Now, he played there. The Niners defensive coordinator gets a 6-year deal. Mark, I think that's important because the last two head coaches each lasted a year. So
I think it's
DeMeco's
the only reason he takes the job.
Yeah. I think DeMeco's going, are we serious or not? This is going to be no 3-year deal, no 4-year deal even. No. We're going to be serious. 6-year deal. You're actually going to give me 3, if you know what I mean. Like Matt Rule got 7 years. He got 2 1/3 from the Carolina owner. But Mark, if you're DeMeco Ryans, you get a 6-year contract. What do you think? It means you got 3 years?
3 years to start turning this around. And the draft capital that they have, the division that they're in,
oh, man. The Cleveland Browns draft capital that they have the next 2 years is astounding. Never mind their own. So Houston, by the way, in this draft, just in the first round, have picks 2 and 12. 2 and 12. And a ton of cap room. And let's face it, a division in, with only one other team that has their act together. Tennessee's in transition, and Indianapolis is a grease fire.
Right. And by act together, we're talking about Jacksonville, who was 1 game above 500. I mean, with all the things that happened, they were still a 9-8 football team.
So finally, some head coaching moves. 3 down, 2 to go. Arizona's still open. And what's the one I'm missing?
Indianapolis.
There we go. Well,
the Fighting Saturdays.
We have to see who Irsay's daughter is going to let dad hire. Because apparently she's running the show.
It's got to be better than him.
Well, I think that's why she said, Dad, no offense. You've had a good run. This is my team. I'm inheriting it.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost club head speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119. Miller and Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN Play of the Day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just work with me. Everyone liked the pod, the Play of the Day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Like Clutch Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
That's Clutch with a K.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Mark, Would you rather have Steph Curry's shooting ability or LeBron's athleticism?
LeBron's athleticism.
Hell yes. Oh my gosh.
But it's not even something that I could even like. I can't even think of that because I'm 5'8". So, but but I'm serious. So it's why Steph was so beloved so quickly because everybody can look at Steph, even though he's 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
He looks small
He's a little guy
compared to all of them. And then you look at him shoot and go, well, I can do that. You look at LeBron and you can't even comprehend what he does physically.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone likes to think they can do Steph Curry things, but they can't.
What I said is you think you can.
Right.
But with
LeBron,
you go, I can't even comprehend that. That's what I'm saying. No, you're 100%. No, they can't. But when you look at Steph, you go, well, I can shoot. It's just a three. I mean, not that you can, but anybody can shoot a 3-pointer, if you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't mean we're going to make them. Right. We can all go out there and chuck it up.
It's one of the gripes I have with Steph Curry. Everyone thinks they're Steph Curry now.
I agree. He transitioned the game more than any player.
Mm-hmm.
He transitioned the game maybe more than any player ever.
Correct.
But he also can be partly responsible for ruining the game.
Right. It's truly remarkable. But, yeah.
Yeah, or can he 3 games, 3 1-goal games? 2 of them went overtime. Yeah.
Billy's just fired up because I texted him during an NBA game last night. He can't get over the fact that I was watching NBA. And it wasn't a Heat game because usually if I'm watching NBA, it's the Heat.
I mean, it was a great game.
The Heat, Philly, you have to admit, the Heat are a tough watch.
Oh, no. 100%.
They are not an entertaining team.
No, they are not. No,
but I like the thing is I actually like the Heat. I've been down here long enough that I actually have a little bit of a soft spot for the Heat.
And I grew up.
No, I know it's your team.
No, but Heat culture, defense. I grew up cheering defensive possessions, like.
Oh, trust me, I'm a Knicks fan. Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm a Piston fan, so trust me.
Right.
They're ones that ruined it for the whole league.
Yeah. I will say, down the stretch, the Heat get interesting because they're clutch.
Hey, I know you tried. We got nothing out of Jimmy Johnson from Swagger, huh? Nothing out of the book company. No dice, huh? That sucks.
I know.
That really sucks. That pisses me off a little bit.
I know.
I thought for sure with the book that would be our one in.
Irk, the Hornets, huh? Were you around for the Bobcat days? God, I hope.
I'm a casual Hornets fan. Those are things I've never heard before. And thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
So I had this theory the other day. I was thinking about this.
All right.
I don't know if we can do a segment on it, but I do think because I know they had greatness. So I take are the Dallas Cowboys the greatest marketing story ever?
In sports?
Yes.
Yes.
And one of the greatest marketing stories in life.
History.
I mean, I'm serious when I say that.
If you want to talk numbers, then yes.
Well, it goes even deeper than that because America really hated the city of Dallas after the Kennedy assassination.
Right.
And for Landry and the Cowboys marketing machine to within 10 years turn that franchise into representing, a league and America's team and all that.
The Dallas Cowboys cheerleader movie. I mean, and they were winning then. And they won with Jimmy.
The power of NFL films.
Yes.
I've never even really thought about that, about how Dallas was, I guess, hated by America after that.
People hated the city of Dallas. They killed the president. They killed the president. That's how people viewed it.
What a turnaround.
And believe it or not, the Cowboys in this little TV show didn't hurt either.
No.
In the 70s, Dallas was a monster.
Oh, there's a show Dallas.
Show called Dallas.
But the reason they could call the show Dallas was because the Cowboys had rehabilitated the city's image.
And the Cowboys were in the open.
Yep.
The show open.
Here we go.
The cheerleaders, right?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Bud Elliott will join us at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. Seth Everett 2 hours from now. A lot to talk to Bud about because today is the second NLI Day, National Letter of Intent. Is there anybody left?
Yeah, one that was supposed to go to Florida.
And taking inventory as to what has happened since Georgia whooped up on TCU until now in the world of college football. That's what we'll talk to Bud Elliott about. With Seth, one of the things we're going to talk to him about is Bally's filing for bankruptcy and how Major League Baseball now is going for it, and how maybe in 2023 you're going to be able to stream your team's games. You know, do what you can do with other sports but can't do with baseball. And, you know, are we ever going to get to that point one day in the NFL? So one of the things we will talk to Seth about in a couple hours. Right now, we will talk about
the starting five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the starting 5 on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
Sean Payton ends up in Denver after all. The newest, richest NFL owners are going to pay the guy who wants to be the highest paid coach in the league. Seems like a perfect marriage. Oh, yeah, the team's desperate to win, and, well, he's pretty good at winning. So there. Now the only problem, Russell Wilson. Who'd have thunk that a year ago? Well, you know, the Denver job would be a good job, but they got that bum at quarterback. Really? What's his name? Russell Wilson. What? Oh, what a difference a year can make. But to get Sean Payton, you know, he's under contract with the Saints, so Denver had to work out a deal. Denver traded the first-round pick they got from the Dolphins. The Dolphins got that pick from the Niners in the Bradley Chubb deal. Remember at the trade deadline? So Denver sent the 29th pick in this year's draft, along with a 2024 second-rounder to New Orleans. Denver's going to get back a 2024 third-rounder as well. Contract terms not worked out yet officially between the Broncos and Sean Payton, but both sides have said, we're doing this. That's why the trade was consummated. DeMeco Ryans, that didn't take long. Niners lost right around dinner time on Sunday, and by dinner time on Tuesday, he was the new head coach of the Houston Texans. He gets a 6-year deal. Good for him. Lovie Smith lasted a year. Guy before him lasted a year. So good for DeMeco Ryans. A former Houston Texan, by the way, J.J. Watt. Wow, what an endorsement on Twitter. J.J. Watt gave DeMeco Ryans.
There were rumors out there and talk that the tweet and the endorsements were so much that there's people speculating that Watt may end up on his staff.
Watt was asked right before he retired about coaching. He said, I'll be honest with you. There's parts of me that would love to coach, but I've seen the hours coaches have to put in, and I really don't want to spend that much time away from my family. So you wonder, will he be like a training camp? You know how in baseball they bring in, you know, the Yankees always brought Reggie Jackson in for 3-4 weeks to work with guys. And, you know, do you think maybe J.J. Watt just spends – because first off, I think the family's moving back to Houston. I think J.J. Watt's making Houston his home. I could be wrong. But do you think maybe he just does camp?
I think he'll be part of the organization in some way, shape, or form. It just seems that way.
And it's an organization that has lost its way, not just on the field, but off. They've alienated their fan base. So, Mark, bringing one of theirs back home and a guy who's highly thought of, I think the 6-year contract is going to make the fan base feel like, okay, we're finally getting serious. And if J.J. Watt, the greatest Houston Texan of all time, is, you know, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over the signing, I think yesterday was a monster day for the Houston Texans. Tennessee Titans made an interesting announcement yesterday. They said they're tearing up the grass field. They're going to install turf. And when asked why, they said player safety.
Huh?
Thank you. That's what the general reaction was. It's like, wait a minute. I thought the players all want to play on grass. They hate turf. And the Titans are, claiming they got some research and this, that, and the other thing. I wonder if the Titans are basically saying, listen, this grass field ain't working for us. Our key players are getting hurt all the damn time. So, anyway. Also, I find it interesting because aren't they knocking that stadium down in a few years? Don't they have plans to build a new one? Aren't they getting a new stadium in Nashville?
No, there was talk of it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think it's done.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because they want a Super Bowl and they think they need a dome to get it.
Well, they do. I mean, let's face it. I mean, the only places that host a Super Bowl that don't have a roof are in the state of Florida. So I think the state of Tennessee in early February needs a roof. So the Pro Bowl is going to happen this weekend. Now, I don't want to say the Pro Bowl is a joke, but it's not even a game anymore. There's no helmets and shoulder pads. It's flag football. And B, Tyler Huntley is an AFC Pro Bowl quarterback. That's right. First off, how was he a fourth alternate? And I mean that sincerely. How was he a fourth alternate? Can we just start counting down the list of quarterbacks? Because you get 3, and then you go to alternates. That means Tyler Huntley got the 7th most votes at quarterback. Can somebody explain that to me? Do we want to go down the list? In any order you want. Obviously, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, boom. Tua, because he got a ton of votes. I think he was first alternate. All right. Herbert. Okay. There's 5. How much more we need to go? I mean, Tyler Huntley. I mean, honestly, right now, Kenny Pickett, Tyler Huntley, who would you have voted for? No.
Deshaun Watson.
Jacoby Brissett, Tyler Huntley's close.
And you don't want to look up the numbers either with Tyree.
Okay.
It's a new low for the Pro Bowl, and I didn't think it was possible for the Pro Bowl to hit a new low.
Here's how big a low it is. Do you know what the fewest number of touchdown passes that a Pro Bowl quarterback had ever thrown in a season was before?
I'm going to say in the 20s.
I'd say 25.
6.
Oh.
There was an Eagles quarterback in the mid-70s who threw 6 touchdowns, who was somehow, some way went to a Pro Bowl. The lowest number before that was 2 guys through 10.
Okay.
Either one of you want to take a guess as to how many touchdown passes Tyler Huntley had this year?
3.
Lower.
Lower than 3?
2.
Thank you. Tyler Huntley threw 2 touchdown passes this year.
2 more than all of us.
Right. I mean, I nominate Felipe for the Pro Bowl.
Hey!
He's only 2 behind Tyler Huntley.
And I have 0 interceptions.
Exactly. I mean, quarterback rating only slightly lower. I mean, if you don't throw a pass, do you technically have a perfect quarterback rating? I digress. So there you go. Tyler Huntley, who somehow, some way, act of Congress, was a 4th alternate to the Pro Bowl. That's how far down the list they are between injuries and I don't want to play in this stupid thing. I don't care if it is in Vegas. I'll go visit Vegas on my own time. Besides, I've had enough of the Mannings already. No more commercials. Give us a break, will you?
Heard an interview with Eli. I think it was on the DP show, and he flat out asked him, "You doing a Super Bowl commercial?" He's like, no. But Eli, to his credit, goes, "Hey, there's still 2 weeks."
NBA, Jimmy Butler with 23, Bam with 18 points, 11 rebounds. Heat down the stretch outplayed the Cavs 197. Miami now just a game and a half behind Cleveland for the 5 seed. Top 6 avoid the play-in the East. Knicks were at home, so you knew they lost. Who beat them? LeBron and the Lakers, 129-123 in overtime. LeBron, his first triple-double of the year, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. He's 89 points behind Kareem to be the number one all-time scorer in the league history. He passed Mark Jackson and Steve Nash last night to be fourth all-time in assists. Fourth in assists all-time. Chris Paul is active in his third. But with his knee troubles, the thought is that Paul is going to retire before LeBron, and LeBron will eventually pass him. We shall see. Clippers rallied to beat the Bulls, 108-103. LA's won 6 of 7. Milwaukee's won 5 in a row. They beat Charlotte, 124-115. And Jamal Murray with 32. Denver beat New Orleans, 122-113. We could do some quick math here. Remember, the losing team scored 97, 123, 103, 115, and 113 in the NBA last night. College hoops, Miami ended the game on a 19-5 run to hold off Virginia Tech 92-83. Kansas, a little payback against K-State. They beat them at home 90-78. By the way, number 20 Clemson, number 21 Indiana, number 22 San Diego State all lost, Mark, on the road. What's the last home court advantage in sports?
College hoop.
There it is. There it is. You took the home teams. Even against ranked teams, you'd win money every year. Women's hoops, 25th ranked South Florida beat East Carolina 72-48. Just 3 NHL games because they're heading to the All-Star break, I believe, after tonight.
Yeah, a couple games tonight, and that's it.
3 games, all 1-goal games. 2 of them went overtime. Carolina down 4-1 going to the third. Scored 3 in the third to tie it. Won it in OT against the Kings 5-4. Washington, Kuznetsov, 16 seconds in OT. They beat Columbus 4-3 in overtime. And Ottawa edged Montreal 5-4. Major League Baseball, the Rays and infielder Wandy Diaz. He's 31 years old, yet they gave him a 3-year deal for $24 million. And there's a team option for a 4th year. So the Rays have locked up like 4 guys in the last 3 weeks to fairly long-term affordable deals. Dexter Fowler, he was the starting center fielder on the Cubs team that won the World Series. He retired after a 14-year career. College football, Mark, today is the second NLI day. There's like 4 people left in the whole country who haven't signed. The Big 12 released its college football schedule for 2023 yesterday. Likely the last one with Texas and Oklahoma still in it.
The big news on the schedule, though, is how they classified UCF. Because they did it alphabetically under a C. So the Big 12 already referring to them as Central Florida. That's going to be a bone of contention with the folks in Orlando.
UCF, by the way, only got 4 home conference games. They played 9 league games in the Big 12, so some teams got 4, some teams got 5. UCF plays Oklahoma on the road. They don't play Texas. And they don't play TCU. They're home conference games, UCF fan. Tell me if this excites you. Baylor, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Houston.
That's awesome compared to what they were getting.
Okay. I
threw it out to East
there.
Carolina, Tulane.
Maybe a Cincinnati.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe. But on the road, by the way, UCF's playing Kansas and K-State, Oklahoma, Cincinnati, Texas Tech. So throw it out there, 21,000, UCF fan. Does this, you're finally in a conference like this. The schedules come out. Did you go, oh, look at that. That looks awesome. Or did you look at it and go, I kind of was hoping for a little more. I thought it would, make my fingers tingle a little more. So 14-team league is the Big 12 this year. Expected to be the last year for Texas and Oklahoma. It's not official yet, but there you go. Because remember, Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, and BYU all join the Big 12 this year. And that, gentlemen, was...
That was the Starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
So, Mark, you're a UCF fan that for whatever reason, you had season tickets before. You didn't buy them last year. But now they're in the Big 12, and you can afford them. And the home schedule comes out, and you see Baylor, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Houston. Now, you're a UCF fan. And you're saying you would be like, hot damn.
I think this is great for them. And I've taken my shots at UCF over the years because they've deserved them a lot of the time. But I think this jump obviously is a big deal. And the fact that they're getting the Oklahoma States and the Baylors, even West Virginia, I mean, these are actual football schools that are coming to play them.
I agree.
I think it's a really big deal. I'm excited for UCF. I think this jump to the Big 12, especially with Oklahoma and Texas next year, will be a really big deal for them. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com. Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost clubhead speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119. Miller and Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN Play of the Day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just worked with me. Everyone liked the pod, the Play of the Day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Like Clutch Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
That's Clutch with a K.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the chicken bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
All right, getting back to that Huntley thing here. So we got the big three, obviously. We go Herbert and Tua, so that's 5. But honestly, Mac Jones or
Derek Carr.
Yeah. I'm
Derek
serious.
Carr. You know what? Russell Wilson or Tyler Huntley?
Oh, Lord.
Okay. All right. You know what?
It's
You're
close.
right.
It's close.
It's a good point.
I mean, he did only throw 2.
What, Trevor Lawrence? Oh, no, he's in there. What am I saying?
No. Trevor Lawrence wasn't in there. He wasn't amongst the list.
Yeah, so
that we
Trevor
gave.
Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. But I mean, if you go the big three.
I'm sorry. This is a neglect on me to you, the sports radio listener. Who the F are the quarterbacks in the Pro Bowl?
Well, I mean, none of the, like in our Twitch chat room, if you look at the NFC side as well, I mean, you could argue right now that this flag football game, Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback in Vegas. So it's Lawrence, Huntley, and Carr. So Lawrence and Carr were ahead of him. But I mean, it's remarkable to get as far down as Tyler Huntley. First off, I mean, I know he's not healthy, but don't you have to extend the invitation to Lamar? Besides, it's flag football. You sure he can't play?
Oh, Derek Carr's going. So it's Derek Carr, Huntley, and Allen.
No, Allen's out.
Oh, Allen's out.
Allen's dropped out. That's why they got Huntley.
So yeah, Lawrence is Mahomes' replacement. Huntley's Allen's replacement. Carr's Burrow's. Oh, my God. All right, whatever.
Is it Hooker? Is it Levis? Is it Richardson? Who knows, RCB?
Well, Levitz is third. He's going high. The fact that Richardson's projected as a first rounder is completely has me floored.
Kuiper projects him 9th, which is, to me. Listen, Levis has killed himself, I think. He's not playing in any of these, the East, West, or the Senior Bowl. I think he's made a big mistake.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this hump day. Happens to be the first day of February. Hope January treated you well. Hope your week is going well. Thanks for being with us. Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. You miss any part of the show, you can always, download our podcast, floridasportsnetwork.com. We've got Bud Elliott coming up in an hour and Seth Everett in a little more than 90 minutes time.
Congratulations to all of you who, for whatever reason, took the month of January off from drinking. Good luck tonight. Do it at home. You haven't had one in a while. I'd like you to take precautions after your dry January, which I would recommend if you're going to do it. Do dry February. It's a shorter month.
So is that a thing?
I've probably, like the couple we hang out with the most, kids or friends and all that, they do it every year.
Just January, though.
Yeah, dry January. In fact, we were with them a couple of nights ago at a little thing, and I'm like, I was going to invite them over after. We were out, families were out together, and I was going to invite them over after, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you're not drinking, so why would you even bother, right? And they told us that they've avoided us in January just for that reason.
Well, that's not nice.
No. They what they're admitting is they have no willpower. That if they were around the Millers, we're going to have a cocktail, and they're going to go, nudge, nudge. Right. How about we just take today off type thing? So they were just better to keep their distance because they had no willpower.
I don't understand. So why just a month, though? I mean, why even do it at all?
I think to prove that you can do it.
Oh,
which to me is, says that I have a problem, but I don't want to take into those type of events.
Right. I mean, just tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to drink for a month. Here, just to prove it to you or prove it to myself. I'm not going to drink for a month. And I'm with you, Mark. If you're going to do it in February, for goodness sakes. You start drinking 2-3 days earlier. You obviously want to drink.
You only have to take off one football game in February. Think about all the football games you have to take off to do dry January.
Right. I mean, come on now. I mean, you should really hold off till like April. It's not like the USFL or XFL is going to make you drink.
No, but the Masters.
Oh, come on. You can get through the Masters without drinking. You can get through Easter and the Masters, I think, without
Depends
drinking.
how much time you're spending with family at Easter. I mean, you think for all these people in January, they just got done spending all this time with their family. They were drinking like sailors over the Christmas holiday.
So you're saying the reason it can be done in January is, well, I'm done with family and friends, for goodness sakes. We're just going to spend the month with ourselves.
Right. I need to dry out. I've had the family here for several days, and it's really taken a toll on my liver.
Make a dadgum good point now that I think about it. Hey, we were talking about this late last hour. Can I just revisit this the Big 12 announced their football schedule yesterday, and UCF's in the Big 12. This is a big deal. This is exciting. All right. And so I said, these are their home games. Would this excite you? And for whatever reason, Mark, when I looked at it from a UCF perspective, on a scale of 1 to 10, I saw the home schedule, and to me, it was like a 6. It just didn't make me, jump up and down. Baylor, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Houston are the conference games. And I'm not denying that that's better than the AAC home schedule they had a year ago.
I just want to bring up to you what their conference home schedule was a year ago.
Okay.
SMU.
All right.
Temple. Cincinnati. Navy.
So you go from SMU to Baylor, you go from Temple to West Virginia, you go from Cincy to Oklahoma State, and you go from Navy to Houston. So, okay. No, it's definitely better. But for whatever reason, I didn't go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Now, and their road games, by the way, they play both Kansas schools, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma. And we think this will be the last year for Oklahoma and Texas in the Big 12, so they don't get to host either one if that's the case. And they will have played Oklahoma on the road, and that's it. By the way, September 16th, South Florida hosts Alabama. Now, I'm sure South Florida is going to want many of you to have to purchase season tickets to get your hands on tickets for that game. But for those of you, I mean, I don't know how many of you have ever had a chance to see Alabama. They're coming to Temple mid-September, the week after they play Texas. So, just keep that in mind if you want to go see a college football game this year. I mean, Alabama's going to be in Tampa mid-September. That's kind of cool, right? All right, back to UCF. So I'm kind of curious now. What are your expectations if you're a UCF fan? You're in the Big 12. Mark, take this for what it's worth. So I checked out a couple of gambling sites. Just looking at odds for next year. Now, the odds I can't find for who's going to win the Big 12. I haven't been able to find those. So the odds that I could get my hands on, though, were odds to win the national championship. And I just wanted to see where UCF was in the Big 12 pecking order. And depending on the site, they're either the 4th or 5th best betting bet with the lowest odds, if you will, to win the national championship in the Big 12. Texas, TCU, Oklahoma are the big 3. And then it's either UCF or Kansas State that has the 4th best odds for the national championship.
I do want to take a quick moment here, David, just to pause on what you're talking about to congratulate UCF on getting in the Big 12. And nothing shows it more by comparing. We just compared their home schedule in conference. But let's compare their non-conference schedule from a year ago to what they have this year.
Uh-oh.
Now, they had 2 cupcakes in South Carolina State, and they played at FAU. They hosted Louisville and Georgia Tech. Now, the Big 12 has 9 conference games, so that limits the non-conference games to 3. But congratulations, because with that home schedule of Baylor, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, and Houston, add to that Kent State and Villanova. Now, they do play Boise on the road.
But also, it means they only have 6 home games this year. That's not ideal. You know, when you're a Power 5 school, you want 7. I mean, you want 9, but you really need 7. You know, if you're the big boys, you get 8 because you play all your non-conference games at home, especially if you're in an 8, game conference, and then you go 4-4 and you get your 4 non-conference, and there you go, you have 8. So Kent State, Villanova, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not Murderer's Row.
Well, what are you doing now? You're in Big 12 country. You
Right.
need to make sure you get to what? A bowl game.
Right.
And you already have Boise State on the road, so you damn well better make sure the other 2 games are wins. But you said, what are your expectations?
Yeah. And so for what it's worth, now this is just odds. Remember, TCU was, picked 7th last year, the Big 12. So, but for what it's worth, the early gut feeling from the pros in Vegas, they're basically saying by listing odds for the national championship that UCF is a top 5 team in the Big 12 next year. Well, it's a 14-team league. It's a 14-team league with Oklahoma and Texas, and off of last year, TCU. And they're either the 4th or 5th betting favorite out of the Big 12. I was impressed with that. I'm like, wow. Now, I don't know if they're just listing UCF because maybe there's a decent amount of action on UCF games, and they're trying to get a few shekels bet on them. And why anybody would bet UCF to win the national championship is beyond me. But I found that interesting, Mark, because like you said, okay, we take a look at the schedule, but now what are your expectations? And I believe the Big 12's going with, there's no divisions, it's just 14 teams. So the top 2, based on winning percentage, I believe are going to play for the Big 12 title. Curious if you're a UCF fan. All right. If we said to them, are you going to finish in the top 5 in the Big 12 this year? Yes or no? What would they say?
That be enough? I was trying to, they don't have win totals out, but if you were to put the over under at 8.5,
I'd go under. I think if they can go 9-3 first year in the Big 12, okay, because also give them 3 wins non-conference.
And that's a stretch because they are going to Boise. That's not
exactly
by no means a guarantee.
So
I don't even know if they'll be favored.
But let's give them the 3 wins. They still got to go 6-3 in the Big 12. I think if you're a UCF fan, you go 6-3 your first year in the Big 12, you'd feel good about that, wouldn't you?
I think so.
Especially since, they're not super thrilled with Gus right now. They kind of feel as if Gus has done the bare minimum. I kind of was expecting a little bit more, actually, 2 years in with Gus. So I actually think if they put a 9-win regular season on the board, a 6-3 conference record, chance to go to a bowl and have a 10-win season, I think they'd look around and go, wow, the future's bright. Especially
100%.
Especially since Oklahoma and Texas are leaving. So just throwing that out there. First year in the Big 12, UCF fan, or just college football fan, and you've been following UCF. All right. Do you think UCF finishes in the top 5 in the Big 12 this year? 14-team league.
It's really close. It's really close. And if they do, I think that would be tremendous. I really do.
I do as well. And obviously they don't all play each other, and some schedules are going to be tougher than the other. Yeah, that's life now, since they're getting rid of divisions in these conferences, which you and I don't fully understand. We think it's going to hurt a lot of programs.
Yeah, I understand it completely. I don't know how teams that are, 4 through 14th in these conferences are agreeing to this.
Now, Fam Forever in our Twitch chat room says, I'm a BYU fan, and I can see UCF and Houston running this conference in a few years. That'd be awesome.
I'm with Fam, by the way. There's no reason that UCF in 2 years isn't running this conference in 3 years. If they keep on keeping on. I really believe with Texas and Oklahoma leaving, I think the opportunity for UCF is monstrous in the Big 12.
So, there it is. It's on paper. Do you look at it? Does it excite you? Do you look at it and think, ooh, they're going to struggle? And when you think of UCF in the Big 12, do you think they're going to be upper third right away? Miller and Moulton.
Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Life, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Life is supported with the help of local partners like Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria at 41 and Wiggins Pass. Award-winning pizza with a cool rock and roll theme. Don't miss North Naples' newest sensation, Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria. When it's time to leave, book with the award-winning service for Naples Daily News Best of 2021. 250-mile radius, live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Serving a 250-mile radius of Southwest Florida over 15 airports. Salt Life Transportation, the official transportation of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show. Book now, 239-308-8686 or online at saltlifetransportation.com.
Miller and Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN Play of the Day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just work with me. Everyone liked the pod, the Play of the Day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Like Clutch Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
That's Clutch with a K. Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Looking at Shelby, I don't even know if David's there. He is, but he's not listening. So I won't talk to him. But looking at Shelby Bass bracket wag thing here, Purdue's a 1 seed. All right, David, I think you put him on. So Shelby's bracket wag here, I'm just looking at it.
Yeah.
The Big Ten right now has 8 teams in, according to him. After Purdue is a 1 seed, what's their highest seed? They don't even need the team. Just what's the highest seeded team? Where are they at after Purdue?
A 5.
A 7. Indiana's a 7. Michigan State, Illinois are 8s. Northwestern is a 9. Maryland's a 10. Iowa's an 11 as the last 4 in.
Hold on.
See,
Purdue, Indiana.
Oh, I'm sorry. Rutgers is a 6. I was wrong. Rutgers is a 6. I missed Rutgers. It's hard for me to still count them in the conference. It's only been a decade.
I don't blame you.
Solid Oak Tree, I love that you jump in here every day with the Go Jags comment. Go Jags. Good for you. And thanks for taking our show in Lake City.
Hello.
David, he's our only verified Lake City listener. Don't treat him.
I know. I mean, we're sucking up big time here. I mean, if you want, I'll drive over and buy you lunch one day. I mean, whatever we got to do to keep you. I don't think there's any
I've got
other.
a text from a dry January person that we can beat about the head and chest for all the reasons he's healthy.
Okay. Felipe, you got your pod?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we just need a big 38 segment.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Hot damn.
Lake City is right near where I-75 and I-10 meet. It's about
God's country, KW. God's country.
I'd say about 30 miles south of the Georgia border.
Lake City's in the south. It's our one southern affiliate.
Right. Hoping that changes.
Exactly. We could be big in the south soon.
We could. Hell, who knows? Might even visit the Panhandle. That would get Adam excited. .106.1 FM though, right? Oak Tree. I mean, I listened to it for nearly an hour one day driving on I-10. I mean, I think it's a decent stick. Anybody listening? I think we're the only non-national show on it.
Someone hit up the Facebook page yesterday and said it does feel like July.
Thank you.
10 seconds.
I deserve that.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
It's 21 minutes past the hour. Top of the morning to you, Miller and Moulton, on this 1st of February. Hope the week is treating you well. Hope January was good. Some of you, I guess, went dry in January. I don't understand that. I mean, if you're going to do it for a month, just do it.
Then there are the extremists, David, because we got this texter who said, it's to recover from the holiday season. A lot of unhealthy habits in November and December. I also laid off coffee, soda, and fried food. Good reset.
Whoa. Hold on a second. This person gave up
coffee, soda, and fried food.
For a whole month?
Yes.
How much money would I have to offer you to do that?
Oh, not a terrible amount.
Seriously. Alcohol, coffee, soda. You don't do soda. That wouldn't be a big deal. You could not do fried food. You could. Okay. You wouldn't enjoy it, but I know you could do it because you cook. So you could cook up a lot of stuff. You could get through a month without fried food.
Easily.
You could get through a month without soda. No coffee, no booze. See, I think you could do one, but you couldn't do both at the same time.
Coffee'd be way easier. Not going to lie.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I could I could quit coffee tomorrow if you wanted me to.
You walk in with 2 huge things of coffee every morning.
Yeah, they're delicious.
And you're just saying, I mean, you walk in with 30 to 40 ounces of coffee every morning.
I think that's accurate.
And you're just saying, no problem. I'll just throw that aside.
Mark, what do you put in your coffee? I might have to take notes here.
Nothing. Coffee.
Straight up black coffee.
Yes. It's the only way to drink it.
Okay.
It's why his hair.
Unless we're having a Cuban coffee, then you need sugar because it's like tar.
Felipe, I don't drink coffee, but I'm convinced it's why his hair is not gray. I'm telling you, because he doesn't put anything in his coffee. I know I have no scientific backing whatsoever. Okay. But he's in his early 50s and he's got 4 gray hairs. And I think it's because his coffee could take paint off the walls. That's why. I have no scientific proof. That's just a hunch. So you could do coffee and booze at the same time for a month.
Well, I mean, if you're paying me, otherwise there's no real need.
Well, that's what I'm saying. How much would it take?
I don't know, but let's start getting a collection together. This sounds like a hell of an idea.
I'll even do it for February. I'll make it a 28-day month for you. I don't think you could do it. I'm telling you.
Well, it's too late now. I've already downed 2 coffees.
I'll give you a mulligan on the coffees. Okay, we'll start it at noon. But anyway, so wow, I'm very impressed at that. I'm assuming it's a gentleman. The majority of our listeners are male, but man or woman.
Good reset.
All right. No booze, no coffee, no soda, no fried food for a whole month, 4.5 weeks.
How many days would you last? You don't drink coffee. You really don't drink that much. I mean, you
No.
drink. If you drink 3 days a month, that would be a lot.
Of what?
If you have a beer, I mean, you have a beer a couple, 3 days a month. You don't, I mean, when you drink, it's 2 beers, 3 beers. You're not much of a drinker. So the alcohol would be no problem for you.
I could do the alcohol. I don't drink coffee.
Right.
Don't like it. So that's easy. So now we're down to fried food and soda.
Right. And soda, you've quit for a while, but you're back on it.
Only a little. I could do the soda because I did soda. I went 6 months without having a soda after I lost my kidney. So, I mean, I could do 3 of the 4. A month without fried food. Are you serious? Seriously. A month without fried food?
Could you do a week without fried food?
No. No. Mark, I don't cook. I'm married to someone who doesn't cook. I eat all my meals out. Okay? I mean, what do you want me to do?
Order a salad.
What? It's 3 meals a day minimum. I eat 4 meals a day. You're talking about me eating 125 meals out, none of them involving fried food. And there's like 3 places I can eat at for a month. I'm not going to Chipotle and Panera Bread and, what's another one?
Any of these, some places.
I guess I could do it, but
God. But why? The question becomes, why would you?
Oh, I'd be an axe murderer by day 18. Man.
That's what you really get to see. Here's the thing. Even if you could do it, and this is really the big question, is not whether or not you can do it, whether or not your wife would tell you to cave by day 15, 16, because they'd be so sick of you.
Right. I mean, we already don't sleep in the same bedroom, but I can't move out of the condo. I have no place else to live.
Because at some point, my wife, I'll diet and try to do, load up and not do carbs and things like that. At some point, she just looks at me with a loaf of bread and says, just eat the damn thing because you're driving me absolutely crazy.
I will say, though, you've got 2 stories. There's this extra bedroom upstairs and an office upstairs. I mean, she could say for the rest of the month, just go upstairs. I don't want to see you anymore. I mean, wow. I don't have a place to go.
No, you're right. But I like her. I like seeing her. I don't want to be sent to the bedroom for a month. And I think it will happen. I think you're on to something.
Just hopefully you can get a couple weeks in before she sends you for the rest of the month. That's all. Show up on Saturday, I'll make it happen night. And you say, look, honey, I got a half a loaf of bread, and then maybe, her defenses will crack. Felipe, I hope you're taking notes.
Should I be taking notes?
No, probably.
No, because
no.
You have no shot. Your show's already being run. We already know how it works.
Just keep going to Waffle House. You're doing great.
Right.
You're doing fine. You got a big day coming up, though, in 13 days. All right. You got to rise to the occasion.
And you have to rise to the occasion right now because it's time for our Clutch Vodka play of the day. That's Clutch with a K. Felipe, what do we have today?
Well, LeBron made history last night, passing Steve Nash, 4th all-time most assists in NBA history. He did it with this assist that led to this Thomas Bryant throwdown.
Screen set. Bryant. LeBron goes behind the back with it. Drives in. Bryant with a man's jam. And LeBron James the assist.
4th all-time in assists. 89 points away from 1st all-time in points. Truly one of one LeBron James is. That's your Clutch play of the day.
That's Clutch with a K. Check them out wherever you buy your spirits. Look for them online at clutchspirits.com and hashtag your cocktails with the hashtag Clutch Spirits.
My mother just texted me and said, "You just described my entire menu: soda, fried foods, and coffee." Yep, my entire menu.
Your mom or
mom?
Your menu?
Yeah, remember, you have to remember, if you've listened to the show for any length of time, it was when you were how old, David?
9. I was 9. All right. And she got up and she said, "You know what? I'm tired of cooking. I've been doing this your whole life." And she was working 3 jobs at the time, what have you. And she came home and she said, "I'm tired." And at the time, she was living with her longtime boyfriend, Bill. And she just looked at the two of us and said, "I'm tired of cooking." And she sat down and mapped out where we were going to eat all 7 days. It was awesome. That's why people go, "How was your childhood?" It's like, it was fantastic. I ate at Jack in the Box on Monday. All right. I had Burger King on Tuesday, McDonald's on Wednesday. We went to the Rustler Steakhouse. I got $3.99. Okay. As I pronounced it, filet mignon on Saturdays. It was great.
Goodness.
And
Kentucky
if you
Fried
think about
Chicken.
that, though, at 9 to go out to dinner, especially when you're doing fast food 4 or 5 nights a week, you would think that was the most glorious thing in the world.
Oh, as a child, of course. You were living lavishly.
As a parent, I cringe.
Yeah.
My friends were running home to go eat. I was running home to get in the car to go eat fast food. It was great. I didn't have any siblings. I didn't have anybody I had to talk to. You know who I was talking to? Quarter pounder with cheese. We had a close, intimate relationship.
I mean, you've been through all the boxes. You went from the styrofoam to the cardboard.
Totally. Okay, real straws, fake straws, okay, plastic, styrofoam, you name it. Okay. In fact, when we come back, I'll break down the best packaging of the fast food joints next. Miller and Moulton.
Miller and Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka play of the day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN play of the day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just work with me. Everyone liked the pod, the play of the day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka play of the day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka play of the day.
That's Clutch with a K.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around and
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Life, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Life is supported with the help of local partners like Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria at 41 and Wiggins Pass. Award-winning pizza with a cool rock and roll theme. Don't miss North Naples' newest sensation, Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria. When it's time to leave, book with the award-winning service for Naples Daily News Best of 2021. 250-mile radius, live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Serving a 250-mile radius of Southwest Florida over 15 airports. Salt Life Transportation, the official transportation of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show. Book now, 239-308-8686, or online at saltlifetransportation.com.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
My mom texted and said, "You forgot about Roy Rogers."
Never been to a Jack in the Box. I hear it's good though.
Oh my God.
Not really.
What?
Hang on.
Jack.
Oh, come on with the ad. Apparently, you might have to find this, Felipe. Apparently, a public address announcer at a high school basketball game told the fans to shut up.
Why?
Heckling the ref.
Mhm.
Oh, what?
Milka, what?
Wow.
Gonna start clapping.
That's awesome. You didn't hear that, but a high school game, David, in Wisconsin, the public address announcer, apparently there was a pause in the game, and the referees start reviewing the play to see if it warranted a foul. Before the referees could finish discussing the play in question, some fans in the crowd started heckling them. Public address announcer: I would like to take this opportunity to remind all fans, and I should have done this a lot earlier, shut up. The WIAA, which is the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association, the WIAA is always looking for officials, and since you do such a good job from the stands, get on the floor, wear a striped shirt, and do it yourselves. That's fantastic.
That is awesome.
That should be your play of the day tomorrow, for the record.
Really?
Yes.
Oh man.
Either that or we do it at 8:21 today.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, find that audio. It's really easy to find.
Oh no, I'll just check Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Paul Pabst from the Dan Patrick Show just tweeted it out. That's where I got it. Then you got it. Then you got to go to the site. It's WISN.com. You'll find it as well.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. It's a news report, so you got to break it into that where you find that spot.
Mm-hmm. Any youth leagues nearby? As your ref? Or coach?
Yeah, there's YMCA leagues. Absolutely.
I mean,
my the guy, one of the parents on my daughter's, he coaches his boy at the Y.
I'll help coach for $1.
They need you to ref more. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah,
They really do. Never a problem finding youth coaches because there's always parents. Doesn't mean you wouldn't do a better job, but referees is a much harder thing.
Felipe, I actually think officiating would fit your life better.
One, you get paid for it, and you get to pick and choose when you do it.
That's
Right.
true, and not only that, but again, the parents is the biggest issue. Aside from the parents, how hard is it to
But also,
referee a youth basketball game?
Hmm.
How hard can it possibly be?
It's not. You're just going to get yelled at by coaches, and you're
I
going to.
don't care.
As I've said, all referees are expected to be perfect from day one and get better. It's the only profession in the world where we expect that out of people.
I saw a really great clip. I think it was, I don't know what state it was from, but it was like a high school press conference, and this like freshman who was really good came off the bench for this team and was like, I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help my team win a state championship. And then the coach literally breaks down in tears, like, there needs to be more kids like this because parents yell at me all the time. I got 7 seniors, 5 start, 2 come off the bench. He has not complained once since he's been here. It was awesome. Parents, stop yelling at coaches.
Well, Brown Chicken, you still watch Around the Horn. Oh, good for you.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour, Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Biggest news out there in the last 12 to 18 hours is Sean Payton. Not a lot of NFL coaches who are active who have won a Super Bowl. He's one of them. And he, after a year away from the Saints, he wants back in, and he's getting back in with Denver. And Mark is someone who would never trade for a coach. I would. By the way, is it because you don't think that they ultimately add that many wins to the ledger?
Yes.
Okay.
In trading, I think I can find someone without having to give that up. I think if you search hard enough, you can find a coach without having to. Lazy's not the right word, David, because Sean Payton's a really good coach. I get it. But desperation and the Denver Broncos are a desperate team right now, so it fits.
Well, there's no doubt. It was the perfect match. New owners, they need to do something to put their first stamp on the team. You got a fan base. It was a proud franchise that for 45 years had like 3 or 4 losing seasons total. Now they've had like 5 or 6 in a row. They haven't made the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl with Peyton. That was 7 seasons ago, by the way. But I, of course, would make the deal. I think coaches have value that's worth, quite frankly, 1 or 2 picks, especially since the GMs making those picks get them wrong 40 to 50% of the time. Luke McCown, obviously journeyman NFL quarterback. All right. This is what he tweeted out late yesterday, Mark. I've said it before, and you can't say it about every coach. But Sean Payton will win 4 or more games just because he's the coach. He's that kind of a difference maker in his approach to the game, in how he structures his game plan, calls plays, feels the game, and understands his team. Now, it's real simple when you're taking a, downtrodden franchise. I mean, what'd they win? They won their, I think, finale. So did they end up with 5 wins? Or
I thought
4?
it was 5, David.
Okay. So, 5-12. So Luke McCown's basically saying, listen, minimum a winning record next year with Sean Payton. Minimum. He can take your chicken blank and make a chicken salad. Never mind if you actually give him, really good ingredients, what he could do. So is there a coach out there that you believe, because let's face it, we're in college, we think there are, whether it be hoops or football, we think there are. And granted, when you're the coach in college, you're also the GM. You're acquiring the talent. So you're doing at least 2 jobs.
Yeah, it's hard for me to make, because in college, obviously, the recruiting's such a big part of it. And these guys who are tireless and great recruiters are that valuable.
So is there an NFL head coach now that you look at and you go, well, that guy's worth 3 games?
Not named Bill Belichick?
Well, and listen, there are now, obviously he's been right around 500 for 3 years without the GOAT.
Well, yeah, it's because the GM in New England is screwing the coach in New England. I know they're the same guy.
I was going to say,
if the GM could get this coach some players, I think they could be pretty good again.
I know. I don't know if Bill is hosing Belichick or Belichick is hosing Bill, but you're right. Okay. They got to get on the same page. But I'll give you an example.
I will say the one, and David, I could end up being proven wrong really easily in this one with Sean Payton, but the one, Pete Carroll, I listened to an interview with him recently, and I wanted to go play for him. I don't know how a guy at that age maintains that level of not only energy, but positivity. What I'm fascinated by is that when you hear all these things about Sean Payton, the guy that we watched on TV is not the head coach guy. Can't be. Because that guy wasn't exciting at all. He didn't see, unless the game planning's so damn good that it doesn't matter how he relates to people, but it's about relating to people. And the guy on TV just was getting a check.
Yes. Yes, he was. He was signed as an insurance policy. No doubt about it. All right. And so according to Luke McCown, it's not just the X's and O's, but the last thing that he said I thought was interesting. And he understands his team. Because let's face it, I mean, I know they're trying with this latest commercial to, give Andy Reid a personality. It does not look as if Andy Reid has a personality, but he's got to have something. I mean, for 25 years in the NFL, his teams have played their blank off for him. I mean, he can't be nearly the wet noodle that he appears, right?
No. And you see some of the videos when he does the Chiefs thing where you get a touch of his personality.
Right.
Same thing with Belichick. You hear all these stories that he's funny. We've never seen any account of that.
Not really. No. So now I think Denver's going to have a big bounce back because to me, there was a good team there that was completely botched. And whether you want to blame the coach, the quarterback, both, what have you. I mean, they were winning 6-7 games a year with Fangio, with defense and no offense. All right. I mean, you would like to think that Sean Payton is at least going to bring an offense to Denver. And if that's the case, Mark, they have a top 10 defense. In fact, a lot of times it's graded out as like top 6. I mean, if all of a sudden Sean Payton is going to bring in put it this way, who's going to have a bigger impact? Sean Payton on Denver's offense, Vic Fangio on Miami's defense.
And it's Sean Payton, and it shouldn't be close because if you're right, and you think, and if the McCown tweet is right, 4 wins means one thing. He walks in there and rehabilitates Russell Wilson on the fly.
Absolutely.
And if that's done, then I'm wrong. Because if he rehabilitates him and does it quickly, then I'm dead wrong. Then he's worth it. And I'm not joking when I say that, because that's the whole point of this.
And Russell Wilson's still young enough. I mean, Russell Wilson's rookie year was 2012. So Russ completed, I believe, his 11th season in the league last year. I think he's 33. So, 33, 34, what have you. He's obviously in good shape. I mean, Russell's still young enough. I mean, he's not older than Kirk Cousins. Okay. So don't tell me he's shot. Now, he was broken. There's no doubt about it. He's broken. Okay. But physically, he's not shot.
Nope.
And he's a very similar quarterback to the one that Sean had for 15 years in New Orleans. I mean, Drew Brees was not a Hall of Fame quarterback. The Chargers never would have drafted Phillip Rivers and let him go if they thought Drew Brees was Drew Brees. They looked at Drew Brees as kind of like, he's okay. He's okay, but we can do better. I mean, it's kind of funny in retrospect, but when did Drew Brees become Drew Brees? Well, and Sean Payton started working with him. Went from being pretty good / good on his best day to being a legend.
And that will be the ultimate question, because did Pete Carroll get rid of Russ because he thought he was broken before he got rid of him, or did he just think it was the right time?
Right. Did they just make a business decision? And for 2022 anyway, it looks phenomenal.
By the way, you had asked me a little earlier if because I'm okay with this deal, and I'm not someone that would trade for coaches. You must be ecstatic about this deal from Denver's standpoint.
For numerous reasons. But they have a defense. And I think even though the likelihood is, I don't know if they can keep everybody and some guys are going to age out, I would like to think they'd still be a top 10 defense. Like, he's going to get a really good defensive coordinator that will want to work with him, because the head coach, the coordinator will know, well, my head coach is job security and I can really get paid. I mean, I'm working for the richest owner in the league. So I think they're still going to remain a top 10 defense. So, by the way, when Pat came on yesterday and he said, I think the Bengals and the Chiefs are going to play, 5 times in the next 10 years in the AFC Championship. I don't know I don't know how much longer the Chiefs' window is, to be honest. They've already traded away Tyreek Hill. Take Travis Kelce off the Chiefs. I mean, we saw what happened in New England and Tampa Bay. You take a Rob Gronkowski off the field. I mean, Kelce's now got back issues. He's 33. I mean, how much longer can Travis Kelce remain the best tight end in the league? And so now Mahomes is 27. I mean, that's whole end of the equation. But, they got 2 pass rushers on the D line. Probably next year only going to have 1 because they can't afford the other. I'm not saying they've gone to 5. They've hosted 5 straight championship games. I mean, Pat's basically saying the Chiefs are going to be the Patriots.
Yeah, that 5 more of these is,
right.
Literally, they're going to be in the AFC Championship game 10 out of 12 years with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's basically what he said yesterday.
Which, let's face it, for a dozen years, maybe 15 years, we just penciled the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. We're trying to figure out before the season started, who were they going to play? Was it the Colts or the Steelers? Who are they going to play in the title game?
Now, I think the fact that they will win a lot of divisions and we're going to get regular season matchups, there's very well the Burrow-Mahomes thing could have a Peyton-Brady feel to it.
Right.
Because they're in the same conference. They're going to win a lot of divisions, and you think they're going to get a regular season matchup often.
Like, for example, it's now being compared to the Cowboys-Niners in the 90s. They played in 3 straight NFC Championship games. The Packers with Favre and Holmgren and Reggie White denied the Niners the opportunity for a 4th straight meeting, and then Green Bay took over. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the Hall of Famers all over the field for both Dallas and San Francisco. They were legendary teams. The one franchise won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. The other was the one that denied them of a 4-peat. But they played 3 years in a row, and then that was it. And that's with all the Hall of Famers that they both had. And then Dallas's run was over. Green Bay said, you had your run. That was cute. It's our turn now. I mean, these things go more quickly. I mean, that's why, once again, what New England did is just ridiculous what they did. And they did it in the cap era to boot. I mean, for those that want to question Belichick's greatness because now he's been 500 for 3 years, I mean, it's laughable. Guy could go 3-14 for the next 5 years. I don't care. I mean, that run is, I mean, think about it. What the Chiefs have done for 5 years, they need to do for 10 more in a row.
Right.
Okay. Now they'll have the quarterback for the whole time, but obviously, everything around it.
And if they do, then we will start talking about Andy Reid in the same way we talk about Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with being the second best of your generation. And that's what Andy is. He's the second best of his generation. And he's going to the Hall of Fame. In fact, some are wondering, Andy's the age difference and what have you. Whenever the day comes that Bill passes Shula and steps aside, does Andy keep going? Does Andy pass Bill? How close does Andy get? Let's hope his health holds up.
By the way, I like him drawing on faces on that commercial. I think it's helped.
Helped, not as cute. Put it this way. The first time you see it, and by the third time you see it, you've lost a lot of your chuckle.
Sure, but it helped. I mean, there was not much he could do that would hurt.
Right.
Just gives him an opportunity to wear that shirt one more time in public.
I will say, I think that's the best thing about Andy Reid are the shirts he wears during the draft. Giving the impression.
The one coaches meeting, the big coaches picture every year at the league meetings.
Right.
He's got the god-awful Hawaiian shirt on.
I think that's awesome. I mean, Andy Reid's probably proposing, listen, here's the deal. I think the team that wins the Super Bowl should be able to determine where league meetings are. Because Andy wants to take it to Key West. Or Hawaii.
More likely Hawaii.
Yeah.
More likely Hawaii. I think that he'd be safe there. Doesn't seem to fit in at the Breakers, if you know what I mean. Well, it doesn't look to be his stomping grounds.
No, it's a little too further north, hoity-toity. No. I'm thinking further south. But anyway, I think a coach can make that big a difference because I think bad coaches make that big a difference. I mean, look at what Nathaniel Hackett just did in Denver. I mean, he ran a team that was a minimum 7-win team. I mean, minimum 7-win team, and was probably a 9 to 10-win team. And he ran that sucker right into the ground. Well, then you can't convince me that an elite coach can't take a 7-win team and make it a 10, 11-win team.
Taking the Broncos for the playoffs next year, David?
I'm taking them with a winning record. And 9-8 got in. 9-7-1 got in as the 7 seed last year. 9-8 got in as the 7 seed this year. So you're talking me into my first prediction I'm going to get wrong, Mark. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
You had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Life, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Life is supported with the help of local partners like Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria at 41 and Wiggins Pass. Award-winning pizza with a cool rock and roll theme. Don't miss North Naples' newest sensation, Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria. When it's time to leave, book with the award-winning service for Naples Daily News Best of 2021. 250-mile radius, live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Serving a 250-mile radius of Southwest Florida over 15 airports. Salt Life Transportation, the official transportation of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show. Book now, 239-308-8686, or online at saltlifetransportation.com. Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6, and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com. Miller and Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN Play of the Day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just work with me. Everyone liked the pod, the Play of the Day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Like Clutch Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
That's Clutch with a K.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
There he is.
What you guys up to?
Not much,
Hey,
bud. How are
man.
you?
Good, man. Just getting ready for signing day. You know, gonna be a fun time.
Hey, question, since you're wearing a Rays hat. By the way, where are you?
I am in Nashville. That's where our
Okay. Uh-oh.
for music television. So that's where our studios are.
Okay.
Action okay?
You froze up there.
Yeah. And It just happened the one time. Hopefully that'll be it.
Okay. It says super fast internet at the Marriott here, so we'll see.
By the way, do you like the moves that the Rays have made?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I'm a Rays fan because they're local, and like I
Right.
can take my kids there, and like it's an indoor stadium, which I'm sure in 10 years I'll hate, but right now it's nice because it's not like crazy hot in the summer. I can go down there with them. And,
Right.
you get the whole row to yourself, right? If you got kids, it's nice.
It really is. I loved. When my boy was younger, I loved bringing him there, just for the reasons you talked about. It was easy.
No, it really is. Yeah.
How are things at 24/7?
They're good. I feel like we are well positioned. I wouldn't, wouldn't talk down on other networks, but like CBS just did a 53 million viewer, AFC Championship game, and they have some Big Ten rights. So I think it's good to be paired with that. Like anytime they get rights, they're going to need to put ancillary program around it. That's how you kind of make your money, as you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not startup life, but I think it's pretty solid. Cover 3 is doing pretty well.
I think Josh is a star.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think you got to hold on to him, because I if I was somewhere else, I would come after him.
As far as like a startup, or as far as like
no established, like I got to be honest with you. I think if I was Fox, I'd go after him.
The thing is, they're like Clat on some of these emerging social platforms is getting huge.
Well, but I'm letting Gus and Joel be that. But there's a part of me that wonders if to put him on a pregame show, or even
I think it's
or the 4-letter network who now has to replace the Bear. I'm just wondering, if I was doing college football elsewhere, I would just look at him and go, "You sure there's not a place for him with what we do?"
I agree. I don't know if he wants to work with other people.
Yeah, well,
may just want to be a solo show only.
Yeah, right? I mean, it is the one good thing. God knows, CBS is probably just like, knock yourself out. As long as you don't get us sued, knock yourself out.
Yeah. 100%.
You're not the NFL, and you're not the PGA Tour, and you're not March Madness. So knock yourself out. We're good.
There you go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
When we bring Bud Elliott on, we want to pay him his proper respect and talk about all the things he's associated with. But then again, we only have limited time. I'll do this as quickly as I can. 24/7 Sports, CBS Sports HQ, the Cover 3 podcast, Nolecast. Follow him on Twitter, Bud Elliott 3. Okay. He's fit us into his busy schedule. Today is the second NLI day. How many players are left? 4?
There's like 5 or 6 guys who we care about who are left. But no, it's true, right? A lot of these kids have signed early, and like this, I feel like this day has less drama than it used to, right? But now we get to talk a little more about spinning it forward to the guys who might really matter for the upcoming season. I mean, we have some recap videos planned already that we're going to shoot today and release throughout the day, as well as our live coverage on 24/7 Sports YouTube. And a lot of it's like, hey, if you're a college football fan who's not a recruiting fan, who are some guys you need to know who could impact it for the upcoming season, right? And trying to spin it forward that way, because I think that's sort of the audience that you have to capture now, in addition to a couple of the late guys who haven't signed yet.
Well, of the late guys, how many, just to your questions, how many of these late guys are impact players? How many of them are they all going to sign today? Because I've seen things that not all of these guys are even going to commit today yet, of the key guys that are left.
And I think we're having technical issues with Bud in his Nashville hotel room. All right, we're going to blame it on hotel internet.
It usually is the problem of hotel. When in doubt, it's the hotel internet. Bud, I'm hoping you can hear me, but how many of these players are going to sign today? Of these 4, 5, 6 guys that are left, are they all signing today? Or are we still going to have to wait even longer for these key players? And how many of them are impact players? I think we've lost Bud.
Yeah, we may have to call him. All right. May have to call him. But Elliott, 24/7 Sports, hopefully we can hook back up with him here coming up. I also wanted to get into him about, I think Gator fans want to know the whole Rashada deal. How much of that is Rashada and how much of that is the Gators? And Bud, I don't know if you heard what I just said, but let's just go there first before we backtrack. Gator fans really want to know, is their NIL totally messed up, or was this an individual thing?
So I think this was probably a unique case, right? I don't think that you can claim that everybody who has an NIL deal with Florida is going to get a determination letter, right? I think some guys are probably happy, and we've seen that on social media. We've also seen some guys, get there and instantly hit up social media and say, "Hey, like any kind of NIL opportunities, I'm open for that." So I think that there's probably some sort of restructuring that will likely need to happen with Florida. I also think when you're recruiting quarterbacks, that's a different type of recruiting game, and that's you need to make sure you actually have money pledged before you sign a contract, or money collected maybe, because pledges don't always come through, as I'm sure anybody who works in charity knows. So I don't think that their collective stuff is totally dead. My guess is they'll have some restructuring. I'll be interested to see how Florida's law changes to allow schools to work more closely. I bet you if you're AD Scott Strickland, you wish you had a little more oversight over this throughout the process. Although a lot of schools really wanted to be as hands off as they possibly could, because as it comes closer, you fly a little too close to the sun, and you're like, hey, what about that TV money you guys bring in, and the ticket rev, and the booster donations, and the hot dogs, right? Like, can we use some of that for NIL? So it's a double-edged sword. Look, reputationally, this is going to hurt Florida some, right? Like, if you're a major prospect, I think you have to have in your mind a little bit, like, are they going to pay me? Right? That's kind of fair, I guess.
Crazy. What I was asking before, Bud, of these 6 big names, how many of them are going to sign today? How many of them are still have the ability to be impact players? Because obviously not getting in January, not getting into spring ball impacts your ability to be participating in the fall.
So I think it depends on the freaky level, right? So Nick Harbor, who is a tight end / defensive end out of DC. This is a kid y'all need to know, because you'll probably be watching him on my network and also on whatever network has the Olympics coming up, because he is a tight end body, 6'6", 226, but he is a legitimate contender to be on our Olympic team in the 200. Like, he lost the fastest man race at Under Armour, which was like a 60-yard sprint, to a guy who's probably a real contender to be Rod Pleasant, the corner, who's also signing today, probably going to go to Oregon or USC. He's like a 100-meter contender. This guy, Nick Harbor, is like the freak of freaks. He also wants to be a surgeon. A really, really bright kid. He's not a great football player yet, but if he goes to South Carolina or Michigan or Oregon or Miami or Maryland, who are his finalists, I think you're going to see them find some way to get this guy on the field and get him the ball, because he does want to run in Paris in 2024. So the onus is going to be on getting him on the field early and helping him, get to that goal too.
Are you hearing, because, Kirby and others said, this early signing day is at an awful time, just awful. And we've talked about this before. We're into early signing. Do you think they go real early? They go late August and then make the second signing day now? Okay. Or there's talk about putting it before Thanksgiving, but just getting it away from the week before Christmas, which, let's face it, we're going to a 12-team playoff here soon. You're really going to have the first signing day in the middle of a 12-team playoff? It seems as if the date that we have now ain't going to work.
I agree the date we have now is untenable. When I was up at AFCA, the American Football Coaches Association conference, there was a lot of talk of like, hey, what if we move it before August? And then they said, no, we don't want to do that, because the high school coaches worry that their elite kids are going to opt out and not play their senior seasons. And I'm like, think that concern is really kind of tenuous. Are we really going to have that many high schoolers opt out of their senior season? Now, maybe the pushback is once they get their contract signed, that they don't want to mess up that bag. But I can't really tell if what the coaches in college were telling me was lip service to the high school coaches they just met with that week, right? Or if they really don't think August is tenable. I would just push it back to February, right? If you're not a January enrollee, which a lot of these kids are, go ahead and wait till February. You'll have a better feel for who's actually coaching at the school that you're at or that you want to sign with, because a lot of coaching changes do happen in January, and there's really no rush to get it done. To sign in February, or if you have the credits, enroll in January. I don't think we need to have a separate signing period in December.
It would obviously split things up with this playoff getting bigger. You're putting everything at once. Your coaching changes, the playoff, signing period, transfer portal. Speaking of the portal, I know it dies off now, but is there still movement? Are there still players out there that are worth grabbing in the portal?
So there are still a couple guys worth grabbing in the portal. Most of the ones that you wanted, though, like the last, I would say, dude who I think has a chance to impact like the playoff race was a kid named Davidson out of Ole Miss. He was our top remaining player, good corner from Ole Miss, from Jersey. Ole Miss signed him last year. Now he's transferring to Ohio State. Ohio State needs some help at corner. Now the portal window to enter the portal is closed. You can still go somewhere. You just can't go into the portal if you were not already in. But we will have a second portal window post spring ball, which generally I think will consist of two things. Guys who realize they're probably not going to win their position battles based on how spring went. And then dudes who have a free transfer to use who have not got the NIL bag yet, like the very top end guys who maybe aren't getting quite the deal from the school that told them, hey, stay here for spring. We'll see what we can get together for you. You know, if it still doesn't work, then understandably hit the portal. I think it'll be sort of like high and low elements there.
Is Florida State being overhyped for next year? I know they finished strong. We like everything that's going on, but people are now talking about them as if they're eye to eye with Clemson. When you look at the roster, are they eye to eye with Clemson yet? Because I still think they're like 4 inches short.
It depends on how good you think Clemson is, right? Like, if you think Clemson is like a legitimate top 4, top 5 team, I don't think they're necessarily eye to eye with them. If you think Clemson's more in that, like, I don't know, 8 to 15 range, then I do think they're there. Yeah. Like, I think some of the transfers they took last year, they would not have taken in this year's class because the roster has improved quite a bit, you know? And I think some of the guys they took this year in the transfer portal are going to come in and probably beat out some of those transfers they took last year, right? Like seriously upgrade the roster there. I am in lockstep with people who think they can make the playoff. I'm not quite there in thinking that they can actually like win the playoff. That's where that's where I hop off the train. So I don't think they're a national title caliber team, but there's a difference between winning it and making it, because winning it is overall team quality. Making it is team quality and path. And I do think they have the path, especially because I don't know if you have to go undefeated when you have LSU and Florida on your schedule in the non-conference, right? I think you may get one freebie as long as you get to rematch Clemson in Charlotte. If you did go and lose the September game in Clemson.
From the Canes' perspective, are they where the Noles were a year ago?
It's an interesting question. So Mario, to me, is not a guy who is one of those coaches where it's like, hey, he'll beat you with his, and if you swap players, he'll beat you too, right? He's somebody who is very deliberate about doing it only the way he wants to do it, which is build it only with his recruits, but he works for it, okay? I don't think there's a harder head coach, like harder working head coach in the state of Florida on the recruiting trail than Mario Cristobal. And I don't think there's a harder head coach, like, you know, working head coach in the state of Florida in terms of how hard he rides his guys about recruiting than Cristobal. Like, that's been his reputation everywhere he's been. He grinds his assistant coaches. He grinds himself in recruiting. And they are doing a really good job in bringing in players. I don't think he did a very good job using the talent that they had on hand last year. But if you look at Oregon, when he actually got his guys in there, the results were pretty good. And I think that is what you're going to see at Miami. I think he also understands that he is going to have a lot of patience for Miami because, Lord, like if Mario Cristobal doesn't work out at Miami, who is? Right? Like, that's the guy they brought in.
he's their Harbaugh. I mean, he's their Harbaugh. Michigan had to be
100%.
patient. When Harbaugh, there was no plan B.
So he's recruiting like he's going to have a ton of patience there, and they clearly have some financial backing in the way of NIL as well. So they're putting in the hard work, and they have the NIL back. I'm not selling on Mario Cristobal.
10 seconds. If you had to grade where Napier and the Gators are right now for a Gators fan, give them an A through F grade.
Like a C- because of what's happened with the offensive line. I think losing 2 guys early in the draft, 2 transfers to USC, 1 to Arkansas, and then one of their starters blew his Achilles. I think that's going to hurt.
Bud Elliott, CBS Sports HQ, 24/7 Sports. Check out their YouTube channel today. They'll be broadcasting most of the day. It's the second NLI day. Cover 3 podcast, Nolecast. Follow him on Twitter, Bud Elliott 3, 2 L's, 2 T's, Bud Elliott 3. Bud, have a great day. Thanks for making time for us.
Mark, enjoyed it as always.
Bud Elliott, kind enough to join us once again here on Miller and Moulton.
Seth Everett coming up in 25 minutes. We thank you for listening. Where else but right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Miller and Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN Play of the Day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just work with me. Everyone liked the pod, the Play of the Day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Like Clutch Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
That's Clutch with a K.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa Filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
What?
Oh, a dude falling down the stairs on Twitter.
Oh, nice.
I'll get to the point right away. Retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time. So
is that Dexter?
No, it's Tom Brady.
Let you guys know first. So, come on, guys. I'll get to the point.
Holy shit!
Right away. Emotional retirement essay, and I found out last year.
Get this audio now.
Oh my god!
Get the audio now.
Oh my god! 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 Oh my god!
You only get one. Emotional. I have to go on forever. There's too many. My absolute dream.
Is that Key Biscayne?
Friends, teammates.
It looks like Key Biscayne or Miami Beach.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm sure it is.
Oh,
My absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
oh, we got to do a final hour.
Yep.
Good morning, guys.
Well, that sucks.
Holy crap! I'm getting the audio now.
Oh, you just play the whole thing, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just putting it on the computer.
Yeah.
Or wherever. Couldn't wait till 10:30, could you?
Mm-hmm. Here's what's interesting is he was in Hollywood last night at a premiere. So, I mean, can you believe that maybe he flew private? Unless the dunes and everything behind him are in California.
It wouldn't be light at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right. It looks like that's back in Florida.
Yeah, it wouldn't be daylight.
Right.
Well, your QB1, Tua Tagovailoa.
Well, I thought it was Miami or bust because I didn't think he'd leave his kids. Oh, was that his last game?
Yes, you were. Lucky bastard. Now that's a credential you should keep.
You think he's in Hawaii, Adam?
That looks like South Beach.
It would be 3 a.m. Unless he recorded it a day or two ago and held on to it. Plus, I think he's got a Florida shirt on.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point.
No.
Right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So I won't be long-winded. You only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I use my note.
It's a good line.
There it is. Now, do we have it? Can we play it?
You ready to play this?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Okay, get ready. We're not going to waste a lot of time.
All right. Clips 52 seconds.
Okay.
All right, we're coming back.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes after the hour, Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Less than 10 minutes ago, Tom Brady posted this on his Twitter account.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So I won't be long-winded. You only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year. So really thank you guys so much to every single one of you for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors. I could go on forever. There's too many. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
Less than a minute. Tom Brady posting it roughly 9 to 10 minutes ago on his Twitter account. Don't know if you could hear the emotion, but Mark, when we were watching it about midway through that 50 plus seconds, you could see it welling up in his eyes.
It did in the middle, and then again at the end when he said I love you at the end of that. Yeah. So Tom Brady is retired again.
And he even poked fun at himself and said, you can only write the heartfelt essay once. So no sense dragging this out and making it long-winded. So 3 years in Tampa after the historic run with the Patriots, and there will be no third act. There will be no San Francisco. There will be no Miami. Tom Brady, the greatest to ever do it at that position. And if you don't believe that, you at least have to acknowledge the most successful to ever do it at that position. Tom Brady officially retiring, albeit for the second time. And, I felt it was Miami or bust because I didn't think he'd leave his kids. The family went from New England to Tampa. I mean, I didn't think he was going to play in Nashville, New York. It was possible New York just because he's got a 15-year-old son with Bridget Moynihan in New York. Okay, but like the whole San Francisco thing with Purdy's elbow, there's no way his whole world's going to be in New York and Miami and he's going to spend 6 months in Frisco. That ain't happening.
This time, I actually think it's real. I don't think there will be a comeback.
So you don't think he'll be over in Europe at a soccer match and Ronaldo and a couple of rich owners will talk him into, giving it another run?
I don't think so.
Does this mean he's available to work the Super Bowl with Burkhardt?
Yes.
So did Olsen's run end with the NFC Championship? Does he even get his Super Bowl? Of course he does. I'm kidding.
I know you are. But how desperate is Fox going to be to get Brady somehow on the pregame?
Oh, there's no doubt you're going to get him on the pregame. No doubt. Especially since I have a feeling it's Jimmy Johnson's last television gig with Fox. I think he's retiring after the Super Bowl. CBS is next year's and then Fox is the following year. So if you're a part of that, if you're the network and you're a part of it, if you're going to go, you go now. If you don't go now, you do two more. And Jimmy's been year to year for a while. I think Jimmy's walking.
Well, it would make sense. I mean, they've been grooming Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he wants the job. It's his if he wants it. And I thought it's been a good add to the show. One of the times I've watched, he brings a lot of energy to the show.
Also, he's gone from being kind of the clown to getting more and more serious, more and more genuine analysis. I mean, you could see him growing into the role. I thought Gronk to the Fox pregame was not as big an impact, but it was kind of like McAfee to Game Day. McAfee's obviously got the silly clown side to him, and then McAfee can talk football. And he knows the college game and the teams.
I would say the comparison to me would be Urban to Fox.
Okay.
Pregame the first time. Before he had the disaster in Jacksonville when it was hard to take him seriously the next time they put him on TV.
I'm sorry, Mark. I don't know of which you speak. It's kind of like the Bobby Ewing missed year in Dallas. I don't know what day. It was just I went to sleep and I woke up and it was all a dream. So Tom is done. And for those that'll say, he stayed 1 year too long, maybe. But I don't know. I'm kind of glad he did. The Bucs season would have been absolutely dreadful without him. I mean, it was 8-10 with him. Could you imagine what it would have been? And I keep getting these former Jags quarterbacks confused. It's Blaine Gabbert, right?
Yes.
Yes. Bortles is done. It's Gabbert. Right. Not Blake, Blaine. So, I mean, imagine what they would have been with Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask.
Oh, we're going to find out. And then you will be reminiscing about that 8-10 year as a Bucs fan for a long time. So your thoughts on Brady's retirement? 21,000 is the text line, 21000. If you've never texted the show before, FSN radio is your keyword. You need to text that one time, and then you are in.
He was just in Hollywood last night, I thought, for like a movie premiere. You know, the Post was making a big deal. He did his first red carpet post Giselle last night. They said he looked nervous. He even joked about, I don't know what to do with my hands.
They had red carpet for that awful movie?
80 for Brady? Yeah. Had a movie premiere in Hollywood last night. How do you
Is
know
your
it's
mom
awful?
excited to see that movie? Because I'm trying to figure out who the demo is.
My mother doesn't like Tom Brady.
Huh.
I know. She's one of the 19 people that don't like Brady.
Huh.
Has rooted against him for most of his career. My grandmother was that way with Elway. Hated Elway.
That the whole baseball not playing for the...
It was the whole he wouldn't play for the Colts. She just said, you know, who the heck is he? And there was nothing I could say or do. Wouldn't have mattered if I, you know, laid out all the charity work he does and what have you. My grandmother was just like, I don't care. I hate him. Root against him every time. And my mother didn't like Brady.
I'm just trying to figure out who's going to go see this movie.
Well, it is a certain demo which actually likes to go to movies. Those movies, if they're decent, usually do pretty well. I mean, senior citizens need things to do.
80 for Brady.
80 for Brady. Bunch of legendary actresses.
I know. It's an all-star cast.
Apparently.
It reminds me of a Pro Bowl instead of an all-star cast, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Hey, there's no Tyler Huntley in that movie, okay? I mean, that movie's got a lot more going for it than the Pro Bowl. If you had to waste 2 hours this weekend, the Pro Bowl or 80 for Brady?
The Pro Bowl.
No way.
I'd watch the skills thing. I would before I watched 80 for Brady.
Really? Tyler Huntley. You think Tyler Huntley in the skills competition, you think they go together?
That is one of the most painful questions you've ever asked me in the whole time that we've known one another.
Jane Fonda was acting like a 12-year-old. She was so nervous standing next to Brady on the red carpet last night. It was funny.
Miller and Moulton. Seth Everett. We'll see if he's going to be funny. He's up next right here on the Florida Sports Network. Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around and get
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Life, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Life is supported with the help of local partners like Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria at 41 and Wiggins Pass. Award-winning pizza with a cool rock and roll theme. Don't miss North Naples' newest sensation, Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria. When it's time to leave, book with the award-winning service for Naples Daily News Best of 2021. 250-mile radius, live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Serving a 250-mile radius of Southwest Florida over 15 airports.
Salt Life Transportation, the official transportation of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show. Book now, 239-308-8686, or online at saltlifetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Hi, Seth.
Hi. I saw 80 for Brady.
You did?
I got a screener. Yeah, and there was a chance Jane Fonda or Lily Tomlin was going to come on Hall of Justice. And I had a 24-hour link to see it right on this screen that I'm looking at right now. And I saw it. It is what you think it is.
Terrible?
I mean, the actresses are amazing, and they're in 75% of it. Sally Field's great. Jane Fonda's fine. Lily Tomlin, Rita Moreno, they're all great. The annoying part is when Brady shows up, because he looks like current Brady, but wearing a Patriots uniform, and just the whole thing looks weird. And the ending is dumb. It's fine. If you were on an airplane, you'd watch it. Dentist chair, you'd watch it.
80 for Brady or the Pro Bowl?
80 for Brady. I don't even know when the Pro Bowl's on. I won't see that. I'll watch the NHL All-Star game.
Oh, God.
See my boy Jack Hughes.
Wow.
That's dreadful.
That's brutal. That really doesn't resemble hockey.
They're in the Vegas when they had to hit it into the Bellagio fountain. That was fun.
Is there anything worse than All-Star games? And they used to be so cool.
Oh, yeah, they're the lowest level. I completely agree. But my kid likes it. She likes that they're all posting on Instagram and stuff. So I'll watch it with her. My little one got COVID.
How's he doing?
She's okay. She's sleeping.
In all seriousness, how did you know? Like, did she have latent symptoms?
Yeah, no. She was feeling lousy. When she woke up, she had a fever, so we were just going to keep her home. And then one of the moms of her friends texted us that she had it. So we said, okay, we have tests. We'll find out. And she had it.
How old's your youngest?
11.
So it's 13 and 11, right?
14 and 11.
14 and 11.
Yep.
So 8th grade, 5th grade?
9th grade, 5th grade.
Gotcha.
Missed the cutoff. It's so funny that 80 for Brady is coming out. Like when I saw it like 3 weeks ago, and I never said anything about it because I didn't even know if it was going to be like a direct to video. Like I didn't know what it was. I was just trying to get one of those four ladies, any one of those four ladies. I was trying to get on the Hall of Justice. I didn't care why, how. They're icons.
But you wouldn't have gone sports with friends with Fonda, huh?
No. I thought about it. I have a dilemma on which podcast to put it on because the guy who plays Chick Hearn in Winning Time, he's an actor. Is that Sports with Friends or Hall of Justice?
Interesting.
Good debate. I don't know. I'm recording it today.
I think it's Hall of Justice. It's about a movie. Or the
movie.
HBO show, right?
Yeah, the HBO Winning Time. Yeah.
That's more Hall of Justice.
Yeah, we're not. Yep.
Is that the answer you wanted or no?
Yes, it's the answer I wanted.
Okay.
Because now
it's the danger of asking
through February.
It's the answer, it's the danger of asking Miller Moulton a question. We will answer it.
You never know. You never know. Yeah, I have like
15 seconds.
4 recordings today.
My mother, because now we're doing a live 9 o'clock hour, which we don't always do anymore. But since Brady just announced his retirement, we're going to do a live 9 o'clock hour. My mother said, first thing he's done that I like, now you have to do an extra hour.
Here we go.
Right.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the hour, Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Tom Brady officially announcing his retirement.
He did?
25 minutes ago, he announced it himself on his Twitter handle, so no one got the scoop. He didn't even spill the beans. Seth Everett, host of Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice and Tech Stream, on the red carpet last night in Hollywood promoting 80 for Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, kept it to himself.
It's a heck of a movie.
Did you see it?
I saw 80 for Brady, yeah.
How?
I got a screener link because there was a chance. There was like a 20% chance that one of the 4 ladies in it, Sally Field, Rita Moreno, Lily Tomlin, and Jane Fonda, were going to come on Hall of Justice, and they wanted me to see it so I could talk about it. And so I did, but then the interview never happened.
With the interview not happening, do you feel like you lost 90+ minutes of your life?
No, because if you think I sat there and stared at the movie and didn't do 8,000 other things while it was on, it was just a typical work day for me.
All right, we asked a hard-hitting poll question right before we went to break. 80 for Brady or the Pro Bowl? If you had to spend 2 hours this weekend watching either one, which would it be?
80 for Brady. I'd see it again before I'd watch the Pro Bowl.
It's a ringing endorsement there from Seth Everett. He would watch 80 for Brady twice before watching the Pro Bowl.
80 for Brady is not awful. The worst part of 80 for Brady is Brady.
Well, I mean, the other 4 are actresses. He's not.
And Gronkowski's
legendary actresses.
Yes, they are. By the way, can you promote a movie that way? 80 for Brady. Seth Everett says it's not awful.
It's not awful.
Seth Everett says he'd rather watch that than the Pro Bowl.
There's a scene where they accidentally take some pot gummies, and the 4 ladies are just hysterical. Lily Tomlin is a masterpiece. She's just hysterical. That is laugh out loud funny. There are moments in 80 for Brady that are laugh out loud funny. The ending of it, well, the Patriots win the Super Bowl. Spoilers.
Well, that happened 6 times, so that's not that far-fetched.
Yeah. It was the Atlanta one.
No, the big comeback.
And what I want to know is how they interspliced real footage of the game, and it just seems seamless the way they go from like scenes to the footage of the Super Bowl. It's pretty wild to see.
First off, I'm impressed the NFL gave them the rights. Now, obviously, they had to pay for it, but still, I'm surprised that the NFL said, oh, yeah, you can use actual game footage. And by the way, game footage from the Super Bowl.
From the Super Bowl, yeah. There's a scene where Lily Tomlin and Tom Brady are talking, and you literally want to vomit.
Wait, wow. That came out of nowhere.
So, in summation, first off, I'll let you give it a score in a moment, but it's a movie that'll make you laugh out loud and vomit.
Yep. The first 80% of it, the first 80, what is it, 90-minute movie? The first 75 minutes are funny. And then the end happens.
Okay. All right. So when you get to a certain point and you feel as if the movie is beginning to wane, you can just walk out of the theater or turn it off and go,
I know how this ends.
He wins the Super Bowl. Right. They had a good time. I saw this the
first time.
Right.
Head right to the exits.
Right.
Go see Wakanda Forever again.
Exactly. I'll go get a refill of my drink on my way out the door. Right. Yep.
At least he's not having another retirement ceremony. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Well, he even poked fun at himself.
I've heard. I don't follow him on Twitter, but I saw that video a lot.
Yeah,
that'll get retweeted a couple times today, I think.
Just a couple, just a couple.
Like 3, I think. Yeah,
a handful of them.
Were you a Brady guy? Like my mother hates Brady.
No. First of all, he went to Michigan, and so that was I can't stand Michigan. Can't stand Michigan.
Wait a minute. Where is this coming from?
Ex-girlfriend. Now my brother-in-law is an alum there. Michigan just drives me bananas. And then
hold on.
Yeah.
So is the ex-girlfriend really the cause?
Yeah, that's the main reason. Yeah.
Okay. And then it continues because apparently you're not a fan of
My
your brother.
sister married a Michigan alum. Yeah.
And you're obviously
he's
not
punk.
a fan.
No, I'm just kidding. He's
probably pretty successful. He went to Michigan.
Yeah, he's fine.
As much as I despise the University of Michigan,
he's a treasure.
Pretty smart.
So then,
boy, was that heartfelt.
No, but
treasure. This is
then Deflategate. I have a very unpopular opinion, but he should have been suspended for that Super Bowl.
Hold on.
He was suspended for 4 games the next year.
Well, we didn't know about it until like 3 months after the game was played. There was
no.
Hold on. No.
They knew it 10 days ahead of time.
It was mentioned, but there was no Think about what it would take to
suspended him.
Hold on. Okay, the Colts started saying some things 3 or 4 days after that game.
Yep.
You're telling me if you're Goodell, you're going to do a thorough investigation of this and suspend him for the Super Bowl in 10 days?
Nope. No. I'm not saying that they would have. I knew they wouldn't have, but I wanted them to be.
It's just personal. You don't like Tom Brady.
I don't like him. Yeah, I don't like him. Jay Feely, who's a friend of mine, swears by the guy. They were like in each other's weddings. Swears by the guy. Says he's a peach of a person. He's a wonderful human being. That's great. If I meet him, then my opinion might change. But he's Tom Brady. Plus, if you like the Jets or even the Giants with the 2 Super Bowls against them, and he's just an easy guy not to root for.
The Giants love playing Brady in the Super Bowl. There's not a Giant fan that'll say a bad thing about Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
And it's so
I was always a big Eli guy.
It's so funny, Seth, because I'm like a lot of what you say. The Michigan thing, I'm right on board with you.
Yeah.
And I don't like Boston sports teams as a rule because their fan base can drive you a bit batty. And I love Tom Brady. Despite all that, because I guess I just want to watch greatness all the time. And
yeah,
that's what I'm into. So I can get rid of the other stuff if there's greatness.
I'm a Knicks fan and love
if you
Jordan.
retire, stay retired. That whole argument. Brett Favre, Roger Clemens.
I got to admit, I mean, we love you for many reasons.
I know. I'm just messing around.
But your ability to hold on to angst is on the short list. I'm just telling you. Okay, because we can respect that because we hold on to angst. Even when all 3 of us will admit the angst may be ridiculous.
Well, that's like the great story when a guy played a trick on me for Jackie Robinson Day when I worked for MLB. And he played a trick on me and told me to go up to the legendary Yogi Berra and ask him about the significance of Jackie Robinson.
The home.
And then that MF was out.
Thanks, Yogi. Back to you in the studio. Right. But by the way, just quick thoughts. I mean, you do, part of your life does deal with sports, though. Your thoughts on the NFL now, for the first time this century, essentially, is going to go forward without Tom Brady.
Well, is he going to be in the Fox booth?
We'll see.
I'm betting pregame for sure, not in the booth.
Well,
now he's talking about the Super Bowl. Okay.
No, you're talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about next season. Does that mean Greg Olsen is out? Where does he get?
Well, we joked. We joked there's plenty of time. I mean, if you thought there was enough time to suspend Brady for the Super Bowl, there's certainly enough time for Fox to replace Olsen and put Brady in the booth.
Oh, for this game? No
we're joking. All right, but
Greg Olsen did a podcast that I heard, and they talked about it. And I guess Fox told him, under no uncertain terms, of not sharing the booth at all or anything like that. I don't know Greg Olson. I know Kevin Burkhardt really well, but I don't know Greg Olson at all. Seems like he's done a great job. I mean, from what I've seen, I wish him the best. What happens to him? Does he get bumped to number 2?
Well, David, you never thought Brady's doing a game.
No, I'm of the belief
you've said that for 2 years.
Yes, I'm of the belief that both sides saved face with the deal last year. Fox couldn't come up with a name to trump losing Aikman, and Brady with the awkward retirement and what have you, and not really sure of his future. And I think both sides did a shotgun marriage. And here's my thing about
annulled.
Here's my thing. Well, what I think the relationship is going to turn to is Fox is going to use Brady to make money. He's going to meet with sponsors. He's going to do promotional stuff. He's going to go do corporate gigs.
And then not do a game?
And then not do games. Here's the thing, Seth. If you played football for 20 plus years, okay, you haven't had a weekend off during that time of the year. In 20 plus years, you have a 15, a 13, and a 10-year-old. To me, it seems like you're going to, for the next 5+ months, be gone on weekends. You're not going to see your kids on weekends. Remember, he's divorced now. He's not living with them. And you're going to get up and leave your kid's life on weekends when they're 15, 13, and 10. I just don't think it works.
Talk to Doug Peterson. I don't know.
I just don't think it works. Personally,
I just think that Olson's done a good job, and I hope he doesn't get railroaded here.
Well, it's not railroaded. No offense. He was given the job knowing full well that we've already signed Brady, and when Brady is done playing, you're going to get moved to number 2. So he's not being railroaded.
So he's no. He's not being treated unfairly, but I think that he's done real well and should be rewarded for it.
Well, he was rewarded for it. He was given a high gig. He's doing the Super Bowl, for goodness sakes. Yeah. All right. There's less than 20 people who've ever done it on television. All right. And he's getting paid a few $1 million. I mean, I think we all want to be railroaded like Greg Olson is.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Kevin Burkhardt's a great guy. I'm a massive fan.
And their broadcasts have been really solid. And I think they've benefited from the backlash that Romo's getting by a lot of folks. And the way
we used to sit together on the airplane, on the Mets plane. So we got to know each other pretty well.
Can only imagine what you talked about.
Yeah, not a lot of superheroes. He's not a big superhero guy.
Hey, very quickly before you got to plug, all the stuff you do. In 1 minute. So this whole Bally's thing, they went bankrupt basically since we last talked. Yeah. All right. Are baseball fans this year going to be able to do the streaming thing they can do in other sports, or is this going to take a while?
I think it's coming. I don't think it'll be ready for opening day, but basically what's going to happen is when Bally's officially files for bankruptcy, that one of the things that their lawyers are going to attend to is that they don't have to make the payments on the rights. So it's not just baseball, but it's NBA and NHL also. It's just going to happen that the way the timing will work out, it'll affect the baseball season, and then the rights will revert back to baseball, and they have a decision to make. And so what they'll probably do is make some kind of a streaming outlet. But the question will be is whether or not they offer it to cable systems. Because if it's not on Bally's, what do they do? What about the announcer contracts? All these different things are up in the air. But the Sinclair bankruptcy is an absolute mess. Like it's worse than the last 15 minutes of 80 for Brady. You asked for a minute, right? I got you a minute.
You did. You wrapped that sucker up perfectly.
That's fantastic. Sports with Friend, Hall of Justice text stream. Seth, what do you got?
Sports with Friends is awesome this week. It's Eric LeGrand, the former Rutgers player who was paralyzed in a game in 2010. Guy's completely reinvented his life. He's an entrepreneur. And the story of Eric LeGrand is inspirational to anybody, football fan or not. It was an amazing podcast. I'm thrilled to have gotten to know him. Hall of Justice is going to be Eric Wallace, the showrunner of The Flash, which premieres season 9 next week. And Text Stream is all... What is Text Stream?
Wow. Is it better or worse than 80 for Brady?
Oh my God! We just did it. We just did. Oh my God! I don't remember.
He's not sleep deprived at all.
Not at all.
No.
I don't remember.
Daughter's got
hold on.
COVID. Tom Brady retired.
Oh, the Madison Square Garden facial recognition thing. Did you see that Madison Square Garden got those 2 lawyers? Yeah, it's all about facial recognition in big crowds.
Okay. All right. You
I
go
knew
take
we
a
did
nap.
something interesting.
You need one.
Yeah.
You need one. Seth Everett, Sports with Friends Hall of Justice text stream. Follow him on Twitter at Seth_Everett. Seth?
The problem is text stream we record like 5 days ago. So, a lot's happened between then. Tom Brady retired.
That is true. That is true, Seth. Take a nap. Seth Everett, better than 80 for Brady.
Yeah.
And never trying to make you vomit. That's for certain.
Never.
Always trying to make you laugh out loud. On Miller and Moulton. Thanks, Seth. We'll do it again next week right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost club head speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're gonna have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Life, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Life is supported with the help of local partners like Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria at 41 and Wiggins Pass. Award-winning pizza with a cool rock and roll theme. Don't miss North Naples' newest sensation, Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria. When it's time to leave, book with the award-winning service for Naples Daily News Best of 2021. 250-mile radius, live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Serving a 250-mile radius of Southwest Florida over 15 airports. Salt Life Transportation, the official transportation of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show. Book now, 239-308-8686, or online at saltlifetransportation.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're gonna have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Life, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Life is supported with the help of local partners like Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria at 41 and Wiggins Pass. Award-winning pizza with a cool rock and roll theme. Don't miss North Naples' newest sensation, Zeffy's Tavern and Pizzeria. When it's time to leave, book with the award-winning service for Naples Daily News Best of 2021. 250-mile radius, live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Serving a 250-mile radius of Southwest Florida over 15 airports. Salt Life Transportation, the official transportation of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show. Book now, 239-308-8686, or online at saltlifetransportation.com.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So, David, this guest day thing yesterday, if you played golf, this would have been the perfect event for you. Who cares about the golf? Because after it was a prime rib dinner.
Oh my God.
And an all you can eat. I mean, you could have gone back up for more meat if you wanted to.
Damn.
Yeah.
Can I caddy in this thing? And this is the only thing. If what we're working on comes to fruition, and our show gets moved too. Yep. Yeah. I don't even know what it is.
What's the phone number? 992-5877? 337.
Is he down the hall?
No. He's not here yet.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I'll find out. I'm just going to call it.
Yeah, call it.
I think it's 337? No.
992-5877, right?
Yeah, that's the one. You're calling it?
It is. You got to put them all up, though. Do you know how to run the call? That was it? I hung up. Do you know how to do that, to put them on?
Yeah, it's no different than putting on a guest.
Yeah, I know, but got to get their names. You got to take their name. I can't just say, caller, you're on the air. I got to say, hey, Jimbo and
Rob in the Cape.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can ask them what their name is. And
do you know how to put it on the call screen software, though?
I mean, when you filled in the afternoon, didn't you do this? You took calls, you typed it in on the screen?
No, I took one call and they told me who the guy was before I took the call.
Gotcha. If you put up that assistant producer thing, there's a thing that says name and location. Should be on the
either that or you answer the phone, you put them on hold, and you go on air and you go, guys, it's Rob in the Cape.
That's what I'll do. We're coming back now.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
A very exciting bonus hour of Miller and Moulton on this hump day, the first day of February. Tom Brady is retired again. Posted it on his Twitter account at, I believe, 8:13 in the morning. I mean, to the minute, I believe it was 8:13. We were just wrapping up our interview with Bud Elliott when we were going to break, and we go to break at 14 after the hour, and the first indication that Brady had retired. So I believe he posted it 8:12, 8:13 a.m. Tom Brady announcing he is retired for good, even poking a little fun at himself, saying, yes, I know, again.
Yeah, I used the heartfelt, sympathetic retirement a year ago.
Right. Can't do it again.
Can't do it twice.
Right. Can't have the big speech and, 8-paragraph release and all that. So he had a less than 1 minute statement go to Tom Brader's Twitter handle and watch it. We played it for you earlier. We may play it again. But, Mark, this is exciting. This is exciting. Yes, this is exciting. See, in our third act, all right, we're syndicated in 3 other markets. But we're only syndicated from 6 to 9 a.m.
Right.
So not 9 to 10 a.m. we've referred to as the bonus hour. All right. But because we're syndicated in other markets, we don't give out a phone number because we don't want to just give out the local 239 number to other markets.
Sounds a little rinky dink.
Yes, it makes the show sound smaller. So, we take comments on the Twitch chat room and text line and, all that.
So we're going to do something historic today, is what you're telling me.
Yes.
Perhaps. I mean, I can't say you, the listener, could engage in something historic on this show.
In our third act, we have not taken a phone call.
Did we take one in our second act?
Yes.
You're right. A couple of times we did.
Yes, we did. It didn't go well, okay, but we did. So we're going to do what most every sports talk show in the country can do easily and will do readily today. For this, the bonus hour, we will take your calls. Here's the funny thing. We had to find out what the phone number was before this segment started. We believe it is 239-992-5877.
Yeah, I called it. Felipe answered and everything. It worked. But if you don't want to call and you don't want to participate, it does not make this show as historic as it could well be.
So, like as Trenton in our Twitch chat room says, will this mean we get the return of Jameel and Lehigh, whom we have not spoken to since our first act? All right. I don't know. Neither one of us knows what's going to happen here. This is the first time Miller and Moulton have taken phone calls on this station since the spring of 2016.
We never have taken a call as Tom Brady as a Buccaneer, at least on this station.
And now we're taking phone calls because Tom Brady has retired again. And my guess is we'll screw this up. It'll be awkward and make us sound as small as we don't want to be. But
we may never do it again.
Right.
It's up to you at this point. This is the end all be all. Right. We're going to attempt to do something that, Miller and Moulton haven't done in a long, long time.
Right.
Get Tom Brady retiring for us to take phone calls.
Yeah. I mean, this is historic. This is a BFD. And so your reaction to Tom Brady retiring.
Let's go to the phones, David. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. First up, we got Roger. He's originally from Cincinnati, but he lives in Naples now.
That's the last part is what we're really.
That's all we really need. The Cincinnati not as relevant, but Roger, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you today?
Doing great. What's on your mind?
A couple things on my mind. First of all, Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, probably should have never come out of retirement. I think we're all aware of that. Actually saw him play against my Bengals up in Tampa, and he just didn't seem to have the same skills that he once had. And I thought he'd probably retire. Everything he wanted, you could take one of these quarterbacks and put out there, and they'd win the Super Bowl if they had all the check boxes that he wanted checked. That's just my opinion, but I'm glad to see him retire. I respect him. I think he's the greatest of my lifetime, if not the greatest of all time.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. 992-5877 is the phone number. If you want to dial us up and your thoughts on Tom Brady, or for that matter, anything else at this point. I mean, 80 for Brady, if you want to break that down. Did it make you vomit?
Now, you had to have been with us last segment. Okay, Seth Everett, in describing the movie, said, A, it was better in the Pro Bowl. B, it didn't suck. C, the ending did make me vomit. Okay. So basically, if you're watching it, he says, watch about 80% of the movie. After all, it is 80 for Brady. And then, he wins the Super Bowl at the end. There you go. Spoiler alert. But yes, Tom Brady, a little less than an hour ago, announcing his retirement. No one broke the story. Tom Brady did. He posted
Aaron
it on
Rodgers,
his Twitter
you're
account.
on the clock.
Right? Right. By the way, he did say something, Aaron Rodgers, yesterday on his weekly appearance on the Pat McAfee show that was interesting. He said, the Packers have been having organizational meetings about me, and they haven't included me. And I find that interesting because, I think he's got a no-trade clause. I think they do have to go to him, I believe, and work this out. They can't just send him to the Arizona Cardinals.
Correct.
I think he has to agree to where it is he's going to go. So he was just pointing out, I find that interesting. They're discussing my future without talking to me, and I have a no-trade clause. Well, interesting. He just left it at that.
The fact of the matter is they've probably had a few of those conversations about his future without him in the room. They don't need him in the room to have conversations about him.
Well, I agree.
I know he thinks that they need to have him in the room for every conversation that they have about anything, but it doesn't work that way.
992-5877. You want to call Miller and Moulton. All right. Comment on Tom Brady within the hour having announced his retirement again. It's funny what one extra year can do. Because we're getting a lot in the Twitch chat room. The first caller that we got there is kind of like, I wish he would have retired last year. Really? He finished second in the MVP voting last year. He threw for 5,000 yards last year. Who the hell wanted him to retire last year?
And a couple of the texts that are coming in, Brady unretires and goes to the Jets. I personally think he's retiring because Miami wouldn't sign him and start him over Tua.
Totally. And that's where I'm at. To me, it was Miami or bust. Once Giselle took the kids to Miami, it was Miami or bust.
992-5877 is the number. Felipe in his first job as call screener. He's got to figure this out a little more rapidly, but we'll get him on pace at some point.
All right, we got Guillermo from Fort Myers.
Guillermo, good morning. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Mark, nice to talk to you as well, David. Well, Dolphins fan my whole life. It's a day of it's a little sad to watch greatness kind of go away. I remember watching the first Brady Super Bowl with my grandfather. So him retiring is almost like all of a sudden somebody's leaving. The last piece of one of the last pieces of what connects you to your grandparents and people that have passed. And that's kind of what I think of is that first Super Bowl that I got to watch with my granddad and watch who's this guy from Michigan, this backup quarterback that's all of a sudden winning a Super Bowl. And here we are 20 plus years later, watching greatness retire. And it's that one of those last pieces that connects you to the past. And so there's sadness in that. And I, as a Dolphins fan, I tried hard, but I could never hate the guy. So that's what I look back on.
Thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it. And that's, you got to appreciate greatness. You don't always have to like it. With Jordan, I was a Piston fan. I didn't like Jordan. I knew he was great, but he was beating my team.
Yeah, I'm a Knicks fan. I have to admit I love Jordan. And even as he was, keeping my team from a championship that they're now 50 plus years waiting for. But yeah, I'm a greatness guy. If you're great, I'm a fan.
Who's up next, Felipe?
We got Peter from Bonita Springs.
Pete in Bonita. Hello, Peter. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to talk about TB12. As a longtime New England fan, grew up, obviously, as a child watching Brett Bledsoe take over that organization with Parcells. When Brady came into the league, he was the man we all wanted him to be, but we never knew what he was going to be right away because we were all Bledsoe crazy. And to watch this play out the way it has, it's been kind of remarkable. And, he's definitely a once-in-a-lifetime player, generational kind of guy. And, it's not the ending, I think, that all Tom Brady fans wanted to see, but I think majority of people would agree that if it wasn't going to be someplace where he could go and win a Super Bowl immediately, that this is kind of how it had to go.
Thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it.
Twitch chat room. Deadstruck says, all I can think when I think of Brady is that he really screwed up his marriage. Or Kenny says, or I'm glad he's gone. Okay, the dialogue can finally move on from a bygone era.
9925877. We'll take more calls coming up after the break. Those of you on hold, wait patiently if you would. We'll get your calls in right after we go to break, or if you want to call back, you can do that as well. You can text the show. 21,000 is the number if you want to text and do not want to call for your comments on Tom Brady's retirement.
A historic bonus hour of Miller and Moulton. We have not taken phone calls as a show on this station in 7 years, but Tom Brady retired.
So we came out of phone call retirement to make this happen. I don't know if it'll be a regular feature in hour number 4. I know David would want to immediately.
Not sure what has to happen next in the sports world for us to take phone calls again. I mean, this is up there.
And the fact that I suggested it is even more up there.
And I love the fact that we got someone in our Twitch chat room says, oh, you're taking calls. I'm not listening anymore. Yes. First time in 7 years. What a bunch of blankety blanks we are.
Miller and Moulton taking your phone calls. Really, we are on the Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN Play of the Day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just work with me. Everyone liked the pod, the Play of the Day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Like Clutch Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
That's Clutch with a K.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
This is fun. I wish more people watched the NBA.
John, that can't happen. We have a contract. Wait, Philly, what was that about the NBA?
No, that I was gonna get to the point that I wish more people watched the NBA, because like I can only imagine what a show that took NBA calls is like. Stephen A. Smith did it on his show.
Felipe, you don't have satellite radio, do you?
No.
No. Okay.
I had a trial though for 2 months, and I listened to NBA radio
nonstop.
Well, anytime it was on, or anytime I was like, "Oh, listen to satellite."
Because they have Frank Isola and Brian Scalabrine do their morning show. It's 3 hours, and then they replay it. So the show runs from like 7 a.m. to either noon or 1. And so I was thinking that you could listen to it after you're done doing this show, because I think you would like it.
I love Scal.
It's hardcore NBA talk with an attitude.
Hell yeah.
Because one guy's New England and one guy's New York, and they take calls. But they really manage the calls. Like, they don't go to the calls as like the crux of the show. They just kind of sort of work it in for a taste.
Really managed.
Oh, now you're eating too. I'm starving over here. You're killing me.
I know.
Eating the 6 o'clock hour when I'm not hungry. You're absolutely destroying me right now.
We got to do a live 4th hour now. I couldn't make it.
Unbelievable. Effing Tom Brady.
Is that the new movie? Is that the sequel for
That's
80
mine.
for Brady?
Yep.
Effing Tom Brady?
Yeah, we're taking calls. Oh,
Felipe, your mic's on.
We're talking
Felipe,
Tom Brady
your
right
mic's
now.
on.
That's the only thing.
Felipe, your microphone's on.
Come on, Felipe.
Please answering the phone call. I'm witnessing the opposite of every producer we've ever had. Felipe is engaging every caller in conversation.
We nearly had to beg John to answer the phone. He would just watch it ring.
And that's no lie.
Nope.
He's having an NBA conversation with this guy.
Unbelievable.
Um,
Felipe, here's the deal. Somebody starts talking about the NBA on the day Tom Brady retired. Okay, you're cutting him off immediately. That's a good poll question, Adam. That's funny. Oh, I'm keeping that press credential. Oh, no, Yinzer. Cassio loved the draft. Loved the draft. He actually did his best work 2 days before the draft. We did that draft show.
That
with
mock
the beat
show was a
writers.
good show.
That was a show that, quite frankly, could have aired nationally. That was an excellent show. Probably the best work that we did every year was that draft show. And he set it all up.
Sorry, this guy was talking Ross Chastain.
You were talking.
I know.
What's the guy's name?
I got him. I got him. He's
okay. We're coming back now. Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. The bonus hour of Miller and Moulton, a historic bonus hour. First off, breaking news an hour and 10 minutes ago or thereabouts, Tom Brady announcing his retirement again. Poking fun at himself in the retirement, going, I know. Big speech and everything last year. Can't do that again. So short and simple. His eyes were welling up with emotion when he was making the 54-second announcement on his Twitter handle. And we're taking your phone calls. That's right. Miller and Moulton in the bonus hour. Since Lake City, Tampa, St. Pete, and Port Charlotte to Venice, they're out of the equation. 992-5877. You heard me. 992-5877.
In other shocking developments, this was my idea. David has always been the guy who wants to take calls, and I've always told him, why?
Right.
And literally during the break, I typed in, you know what we should probably do? We should probably take some calls because Tom Brady retired.
And once I got done picking myself up off the floor, we started answering your calls.
So let's go to the calls now. Tim in the Cape is up next. Hello, Tim. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm doing well. I was in the Cape, but I was on hold so long, I'm in Sarasota now. All I want to know is what is the over and under for reconciliation?
With the Patriots, Bucks, or Giselle?
Giselle. Wait a minute. What's the most important thing with Giselle?
Well, I think Giselle's ship has sailed. I think Tom needed to retire a second time in the summer. I mean, reportedly, she gave him the ultimatum, and he chose year 3 with the Bucks. And she went, okay. Good luck.
Yep. He took football over her.
Yep. Well, you know, Mark, what they say, can't get another year in the NFL, but you go get another one, look just like, well, maybe not.
Maybe not. He might be able to. I mean,
Maybe.
Leo's been putting them on the shelf and picking up a new one every other week, it seems like.
I mean, you know, goodness knows if he doesn't have game, you know, what do the rest of us have? But okay. Good luck, Tom, in retirement. Meanwhile, Greg Olson's like, I still get to do this year's Super Bowl, right? I mean, I know he's available and all, but I mean, come on. I get to do one, right? Yes, Greg, you get to do one.
Fox now trying desperately to get Brady on set for Super Bowl coverage, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Mark, I got to admit, I'd like to think $375 million could get a guy to, you know, show up in Phoenix and do about 10 hours worth of work.
Can't you see Brady doing Radio Row this year?
Tom, you're meeting with WWCN in Fort Myers. Yes. What?
You've got
What
them
am I
at
doing?
9:10 today, Tom.
What
I'm
am I
doing?
what?
I'm going back to play for the Bucks is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, man, oh man. 992-5877. Okay, your reaction to Tom Brady, the end of an era. Okay, we're going with it, folks. We're trusting that this is for real.
Mike in Bonita Springs is up next. Hello, Mike.
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing great.
I just want to say if it is true and the news is what it is, I think it's a sad day in sports. If you're a sports person, I mean, I'm a Browns fan and a Buckeye, but you know, I witnessed greatness, and I will miss those matchups with him and Peyton and whoever throughout the years. So take a pause for a moment and enjoy what we just got to see.
No doubt, Mike. Thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it.
I mean, he didn't really play as a rookie, which was 2000. So the last time that the NFL went about its business and Tom Brady was not a part of the league was literally the 20th century.
In Felipe's life, because he was born in 2000, Tom Brady has been in the league his entire life.
Correct.
It's going to be weird, I will say.
I would think more so for the 20 and 30 something sports fan who's had Brady. Every memory of their football life has some either, you know, positives that you were a Patriot fan or he was beating your team.
But think about our last caller. I mean, he's a Buckeye fan. And he just said, I'm going to miss Brady. So he's a Browns fan. And of course, you know, they haven't been able to get out of their own way during Tom's entire career. So he easily could have been jealous of Brady and all the success that the Patriots had. And then as a Buckeye, he's watching the Michigan guy win all these games. Seriously? And he's going to miss him.
Well, he doesn't really have many Ohio State quarterbacks to root for in the league, David.
Oh, no, that is true. That is true. A lot of other positions. Wide receiver, running back, DBs, a lot of other positions. Quarterbacks, not so much. Because you guys don't get to claim Joe Burrow. Remember, he was only good enough to be second team for you.
992-5877 is the number if you want to chime in on TB12 retiring. Again, this time we think for good. Did it on Twitter this morning, a little after 8 o'clock.
I will miss Brady. I said it a year ago. I will miss him. I miss greatness. And I'll just, this last year, did he look a little different than he had ever looked? Yeah. Did a quote-unquote father time win? Okay, a little bit. Let me tell you, did you think Father Time was winning in 2021? I mean, Brady put Father Time to the test. You got to admit, Brady took Father Time to the last round, and Father Time won on a decision. Close.
The other side of this, too, is that when we saw Peyton retire and we knew Brady inevitably was retiring, you and I had all these conversations of what the quarterbacks are going to look like in the league. And you could argue Brady's leaving the league with better quarterbacking than it's ever had.
Well, here's the irony, though. Brady retiring now a second time, if you're just joining us. That news from Tom Brady an hour and 15 minutes ago. And if Aaron Rodgers is going to be traded, and Green Bay is going to want to send him to the AFC, and the Jets are literally jumping up and down. So now you look at the NFC quarterback picture and you take Rodgers and Brady out of it. Who's the best quarterback in the NFC? I mean, is he quarterbacking the Eagles in the Super Bowl?
I think so.
Is it the guy in Minnesota?
It's Hurts.
Okay. Remember, a year ago, he couldn't play. A year ago, we said, the Eagles would be a nice team if they had a quarterback. So that's how wide open the NFC is. That's why, to me, if I was Sean Payton, I wanted the Carolina gig. Let me try something even in Arizona, because the NFC can be taken over here by somebody who gets their act together quickly.
Think about who the other quarterbacks are. I mean, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff.
Hey, what if Justin Fields is the answer? How quickly could the Bears be a force?
I know you don't want to hear it, but the guy for the Giants looked a lot better this year. If he continues on the path he's on, how about your Giants, David?
I mean, if Jared Goff plays in 23 the way he played in 22, are the Lions one of the top 3 teams in the NFC? This is fun. See what happens. Brady retires. We take calls. Madness.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6, and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Miller and Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN Play of the Day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just work with me. Everyone liked the pod, the Play of the Day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Like Clutch Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
That's clutch with a K. Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Two 239-992-5877.
Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap today was the day when?
Right.
Yeah.
Or we keep taking calls.
I've got a bad and ugly.
I've got the 2023 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees.
Wow. Late Night with David Letterman debuted today in 1982.
Damn. A study analyzing 75,000 tweets for negative sentiment revealed that the Miami Heat have the most negative fans in the NBA. Negative tweets, that is.
We saw Janet's bare breast today.
19 years ago.
Oh. Tom Brady won that Super Bowl, by the way.
Nice. Coming back.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
Home stretch of Miller and Moulton, the bonus hour on the day that Tom Brady announced his retirement for a second time. He announced it at roughly 12 minutes after 8 this morning on his Twitter account. Less than a minute he took, casually dressed on what looked like a Florida beach. The wind rustling behind him and some dunes, some nice high rises. He just held the phone out and let it rip. Short, sweet, to the point, eyes welling up with emotion at a couple different times. Thanking everyone, but calling it a career. And to call it legendary would be an understatement. So we'll take him at his word and say that this is the end for Tom Brady. All those years in New England, the final 3 in Tampa, 10 trips to the big game, 7 wins.
2 of them today.
Really?
Yeah. He won the 04 Super Bowl today.
Okay, 03 season. Oh, that was Timberlake and Janet at halftime.
You got it. And beat the Seahawks today.
Oh, the interception at the goal line.
Yep.
When everybody in Seattle's still going, why are we not giving Marshawn the ball? What's remarkable is, I mean, except for the last one, every one of his Super Bowls was close. It's the other thing. It's why, his legend is even bigger than what the resume says it is. I mean, final drive to beat the Rams, final drive to beat the Panthers. Loses on essentially the last drive, less than 30 seconds to go against the Giants. Loses on a touchdown with less than a minute to go against the Giants. Beats Seattle at the goal line. After leading them to 2, they were down 10 in the 4th, the 2 late scores to take the lead, but they're going to lose late again, and then they don't. I mean, just honestly, the game against the Chiefs was I think the only one in which it was like, this sucker's over.
992-5877. Yep, you heard it. That's a phone number. You can call it and chime into the show. It takes a Tom Brady retirement for this show to take phone calls. Not last year's retirement, but this year's retirement.
Correct. Last year, no big deal. This year, we think it's going to hold. 992-5877. First time in 7 years, by the way, we've taken phone calls on this station, just so you know. I mean, that's historic, right? I mean, it's not Brady retiring, but it's noteworthy.
And it may be the last time for 7 years.
Or ever. Because we're day to day. So, we're just tough to think about 2030 right about now.
Wow.
I know. I'm hoping just to live.
Exactly. How many Super Bowls will Patrick Mahomes play in between now in 2030.
Okay, so do we count this one or no?
Yeah, count this. This one counts.
Okay, so all right, and so we've got 7 more after it. So potentially the number could be as high as 8. Correct?
Right.
Okay. Over under 2.5.
That's exactly where I would have gone. And I think most people would go over.
I did too. I'll go under.
I would too. Because it's that damn hard. And as you pointed out earlier on our show today, their window, while open right now, is closing.
Well, even, Brady's historic run in New England. So they go to the 3 and 4 years, and they win all 3. Well, Mahomes now has been to 3 and 5 years. We'll see if he can win a second. And then Brady and the Patriots were excellent pretty much every year. But from the 2005 season through the 2012 season, I mean, that was 8 years in a row. They didn't win the Super Bowl. They went to 2. As good as they were during that 8-year run, they only got there twice, and they lost to the Giants both times.
And to be able to retool, which is what Kansas City would have to do a couple of times over that term to get it done, is something we've not seen by anybody but the Patriots.
And really, it was 9 years, because in 2013, Peyton and the Broncos beat the Patriots in the title game, and then Denver got blown out by Seattle. So 2005 through 2013, 9 seasons, Patriots didn't win a Super Bowl. Any of the 9. Went to it twice. And that's Brady, Belichick, and the Patriots. Imagine if after, they won their 3rd Super Bowl there in 2004, and we said, hey, in the next 9 years, how many times are Brady and the Patriots going to go to the Super Bowl? We put the over under 2.5. And we all would have taken the over, and we all would have lost. But have no idea if he'll ever divulge whether or not he would have kept playing if Miami was interested. But I do think it was interesting that Miami and, they had to make it public that they were not interested in pursuing Brady. And then not too many business days later, Brady announces his retirement. And, we all have our opinions watching famous people from afar and trying to read body language and the gossip and, what do you think? What do you think? But for whatever it's worth, I thought it was Miami or bust.
The funny thing is, this is exactly 1 year to the date from the first retirement.
No.
It is. And I saw that on the site where usually we do today was a day when, but we haven't been doing that. So I didn't do my prep work for it. But I was just looking for some things, trying to see what Super Bowls were played today during the last break. And it was February 1st, 2022, when he made the announcement.
I have to admit, if I was advising him, I would have said, don't do it on the same day.
Exactly.
Because people will think since you didn't stick to the first one, you're not going to stick to the second. Do it the 31st. He's like, well, I can't do that. I got a movie premiere. All right, let's do it the 2nd.
Will you be mad if he unretires?
Mad?
Yes.
No, I won't be mad. I must admit, I'll start to go, wow, he's a little messed up here. Unless he's unretiring because Miami's changed their mind. Unless Stephen Ross calls him up and says, I don't know what the hell Chris Greer's talking about. If you want to keep playing, okay, you can keep playing here.
That would have been the great video. As he's recording that I'm retiring, the call comes in from Stephen Ross. He's, hey, hold on 1 second.
By the way, Felipe, since you're anti-Brady, okay, replacing Tua as quarterback of the Dolphins, which for now we have to assume is a moot point. So humor me, Felipe. Tua gets hurt in September. You okay if the Dolphins pick up the phone and call the old man?
He's not. Yes. I can tell you right now, he answered yes, but I read the body language. The shoulders sulked a little bit. The hand started moving. The head bobbed in a circular. It didn't really bob. It just kind of moved in a circular motion. And then he spit out yes because he felt he had to.
Call Derek Carr instead. I don't know.
No. Remember, it's September. All the quarterbacks have found their respective homes. Your guy gets hurt. You're calling someone who's sitting on their couch. That's the only thing that's available. When a guy gets hurt in season, you have to call people who are sitting on their couch.
Skylar Thompson, Tom Brady.
Is Jameis on his couch?
No.
Jameis is probably holding a clipboard somewhere. So, but hold on. Let's just assume he's on his couch. So you're going to call Jameis in September when Tua gets hurt over Brady?
Yes.
Well, you're
Felipe,
fired.
Yeah, you're fired, or at least not allowed to talk on the air for a week.
You know, I actually mean that, but I don't want this. The reason why I never really wanted Brady to come to Miami is because I didn't want the media storm to follow him.
Who cares? First off, the Dolphins haven't gotten any attention for a generation. Why is it you don't want the media storm? Secondly, when as a Miami sports fan never wanted the media storm? That's all Miami sports is. I mean, this makes no sense, Felipe. You're having an out-of-body experience. You just said out loud you would have taken Jameis Winston over Tom Brady next year at quarterback.
And it's recorded. Honestly, we can play it back to you.
If I want to be good, I don't want to do it the Tom Brady way.
Right, I know.
I don't want to do it the Tampa Bay Buccaneers way.
The Tom Brady way? You mean winning?
Over and over and over again.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I want a healthy way of winning, not this hangover. You know,
I just you do know that the championships all count the same. You know, I mean, just we don't put asterisks. Oh, this was a healthy one. This one was a hungover one. This was at the beginning of our run. This was at the end of our run.
And the irony, you don't even like Tua.
It's not that I don't like Tua. It's that I didn't want him in the first place.
And
He's
Brady
injured.
Brady has messed up a whole generation of sports fans. He really has. The Miami, the New York, they don't know how to handle him playing, retired, sitting on his couch, just broadcasting for Fox. And don't think just because he starts broadcasting that the phone won't ring. I mean, Aikman's talked about he was retired a couple years. Andy Reid called him when Donovan McNabb got hurt. The Dolphins, Dave Wannstedt called Aikman when he was retired. And Jay Fiedler got hurt or whatever and was like, hey, how long would it take you to get ready? I mean, Aikman's done interviews about this. And he had retired like 2 years earlier when Wannstedt called. He'd been retired like 4 years when Andy Reid called him. I mean, Mark, come on. We went through it. How long after Barry Sanders retired was Barry Sanders still getting phone calls going, hey?
Had to be 3-4 years.
The Dolphins called him, I think, when Ricky retired. Barry's last year was 98. He retired before the 99 season. Ricky retired in like 03, 04. And the Dolphins called him. Said,
just making sure.
Yeah. Are you sure? He's a running back who hadn't played in 4 years. And they called him.
I can tell you right now, he's not coming back. He's not coming back.
Well, in 31 places, I agree. But he's going to move to Miami, and his kids are going to be in Miami.
And they're going to need a starting quarterback at some point next year.
And when Tua gets hurt, they're going to call him.
And he's going to say no.
Maybe.
No. You know what? I hope I'm wrong so that, we can replay this and it'd make for great radio. I am guaranteeing, Charles Barkley style, guaranteeing that Tom Brady will never play a game in the NFL
now,
ever.
That's very different than what we said. Once again, you listen to us, but you don't hear us. Okay? We're saying Tua's going to get hurt and Stephen Ross is going to call him. We're not saying he's going to unretire and play, but we are telling you, based on Tua's history, each of the last 4 years, he's gotten hurt, pro and college. And when that happens, they're all in on this team, all the money, the whole deal, and they're going to go 804-year-old Tom Brady, Skylar Thompson. What's our best option?
They might call, but all I am saying
once again, that's all we're saying.
Right, and I'm saying that he will say no.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. I mean, maybe he likes Kevin Burkhardt that much.
Well, we hear he's a tremendous guy.
He
He's
is a good
missing
guy.
the show today. Seth Everett telling us that during his interview in the 8 o'clock hour. Go to floridasportsnetwork.com to download any part of the show that you may have missed from today on this historic day on a lot of fronts. I mean, sure, Tom Brady retired. We took phone calls.
Right. Let's get to the lead story. Okay. First time in 7 years, we took phone calls on this show, on this station. I mean, Brady's retired, twice in 12 months. I mean, big deal. We haven't done this in 7 years.
We had a 7-year itch.
We
for phone calls.
Right. No idea if we'll do it again. Miller and Moulton. So 21,000 is our text line. And let us know your thoughts on Brady retiring. Treat this one as if it's going to take. But if you don't think it's going to take, let us know that as well. So, Rob in our Twitch chat room, over under what week Brady's wearing number 12 for the Dolphins. He says week 5. That's funny.
Tom Brady retires again.
Felipe, 4 years from now, we'll do it when LeBron retires. Okay, we'll take calls.
4?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it'll be about 4. Miller and Moulton. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening. Florida Sports Network.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourself